Hello, fans, and welcome to This Day in Baseball, where we're going to bring you a full radio broadcast of today's game. And before we do that, I just want to thank Classic Baseball Radio, and there's a link in the notes where you can check out their full channel. They have many great radio broadcasts. And while you're listening to today's game, if you want to check out much more about the game and the players, look on the links below, and you're going to see links to player pages, the date the game happened, the year it happened, and the play-by-play. Enjoy the game, and check out the links while you're watching the game, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that every time new content comes out, you're going to get that firsthand. And thank you again for checking out This Day in Baseball, and enjoy the game.
Favorite beer? Well, millions agree. It's Rheingold Extra Dry. And the reason? Because Rheingold has a flavor all its own. And dry tells you why. Two little words, extra dry, tell you that Rheingold is brewed the long, slow, costlier way. For a taste that's brisk and bright and clean, clear through. Brewed extra dry to be extra refreshing. So why don't you stock in a supply of refreshing Rheingold and enjoy a glass along with the game. Soon you'll find yourself joining the millions who say, my beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Well, now it's Dick Farrell warming up on the mound. The umpires in the game today. Behind home plate, Al Barlick. At first base, Ed Bargo. At second base, Judge Crawford. And at third base, Doug Harvey. The next to last game of the season here in Houston between the Mets and the Colt-45s. And here to detail all the action for you is Bob Murphy. Thank you very much, Ralph. Little Elio Chacon stepping in now. We're all set to get going. It's Game 3 in this 4-game series that winds up the road trip for the New York Mets. Following the game starting late tomorrow afternoon, the Mets will be flying home. Elio Chacon, who has appeared in the first 2 games of the series but does not have an official time at bat. Elio hitting at .231. Here's the windup, and the first pitch of the night is a high fastball. Dick Turk Farrell on the mound for the Houston Colt-45s, and he is one of the real flamethrowers in baseball. An outstanding relief hitter with the Philadelphia Phils, last year relieved with the Dodgers. Fastball over, a call strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. And the delivery by Turk Farrell, and it gets the outside corner for a call strike. Charlie Neal in the on-deck circle, and then Gene Woodley. Setting up the defense for the Houston Colt-45s. Norm Larker flying first. Joe Amalfitano is at second. Bobby Lillis is short, and Bob Aspromonte at third. Strike 3 call. The hummer by Turk Farrell on the outside corner, and Elio is called out. In the outfield, Houston has Al Spangler in left, Carl Warwick in center, and around and right, Roman Mejia. The third baseman, number 4, Charlie Neal. Mets took the early lead in the afternoon game. They led 2-0. Houston came from behind, tied the game. Mets regained the lead in the ninth. But Houston scored 2, the last an unearned run, to win the game 4-3 in the last of the ninth inning. Now Charlie Neal up. Charlie 2 for 6 in the series. A fly ball hit right down the right field line. Running hardest Mejia to the line. He makes the catch in fair territory. Roman Mejia caught up with it and grabbed it just as he reached the line down toward the right field corner. 2 outs, nobody on. Gene Woodling coming up. Gene 0 for 1 has appeared twice in the series of suspension. Fielder number 11, Gene Woodling. Coaching at first, Cookie Lavazzetto coaching at third. A foul ball whacked high in the air and deep down the left field line. This will be over in the boxes and out of play. After the hard rains early this morning in Houston, the weather broke just in time for the afternoon game. And although the humidity is extremely high, the skies right now are mostly clear. A little bit high to Gene Woodling. 1 ball, 1 strike. Turk Farrell on the mound for the Colt-45s. Al Smith working behind the plate. 2-1 delivery. Inside and high, it's ball 2, 2-1. In the afternoon game, Jim Campbell was behind the plate for Houston. Late in the game, he suffered an injury to the ring finger on his throwing hand, and he has it now in a splint. He'll be out about 2 weeks or more. The 2-1 delivery. Inside the high, it's ball 3. Houston immediately petitioned league president Warren Giles for permission for a replacement for Jim Campbell, and Merritt Renew will join the team tomorrow. A foul ball wafted back upstairs. It's going out of play. All 3 of the most recent additions to the pitching staff of the New York Mets are in uniform for tonight's game. Larry Foss, who came from the Pittsburgh organization, where he had won 10 and lost 5 this year with Asheville, arrived in time for tonight's ball game. Larry took his family to Wichita, his hometown, then came back to join the Mets here in Houston. Fouled again by Gene Woodling, out of play. It's 3-2. So Larry Foss, Galen Cisco, and Sherman Roadblock Jones are all in uniform for tonight's game. Casey anxious to get a look at them just as soon as he can. It has been 2 weeks since Cisco was used by the Red Sox, and about 12 days since Foss worked. Foul tipped on a slow breaking pitch, 3-2. Two outs, nobody on. We're just underway. Top of the first, Woodling the batter. The pitch by Carl. A high, lazy fly ball to short right field. Backing down the line goes Norm Larker, and he grabs it in fair territory for the third out. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. The score in the middle of the first, the Mets nothing and the Colt 45s coming to bat. And now time out for a moment's entertainment with a famous group of entertainers from Rheingold. The Rheingold Extra Dry, extra talented players present a tale of the old frontier. In a cavern in a canyon next to Beaton for a mine lives a miner, 49, and his daughter Clementine. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling, Clementine. You were lost and gone forever, oh, my darling, Clementine. Weeks ago, this patient miner sent his daughter out for beer. Get me Rheingold, let's be Rheingold, my favorite brand here. In the town, Clem went a-running, just do as Daddy told him.
Give him Daddy's Rheingold.
Rheingold's right, so refreshing.
And dry as you buy.
From now on, my beer is Rheingold, and my wife is
Got a husband and your people have a glass of it. That's cool.
oh, my Rheingold, Rheingold, oh, my Now we move along to the last half of inning number 1. On the mound tonight for the New York Mets, veteran right-hander Roger Craig. Chris Canizero working behind the plate, and the leadoff hitter in the game for Houston will be the shortstop Bob Lillard. Mets are set up defensively with Myron Throneberry at first, Rod Kenneal at second, Elio Chacon at short, and Charlie Neal at third. In the outfield, Gene Woodling in left, Jim Hickman playing center. Around in right field, Joe Christopher. Bob Lillis, a right-hand batter, leading off against Roger Craig. He hits the first pitch in the air to center field. Hickman galloping in. He's in front of it. Makes the catch, one down. The mosquito situation is unusual in Houston, and the timing for the New York Mets has not been the best. Last time the Mets came into Houston, mosquitoes would come along, move your microphone over about 6 inches. You'd reach over and grab it and put it back over where it was. When they left, they went down south toward the Gulf, and they have been gone. But they arrived back in Houston 3 days ago, according to the authorities on such things. Al Spangler, the hitter, and the pitch inside, ball 1. There was one that landed on Lindsay's scorecard last night that was so big it covered up one whole square, it seemed. Run it down the third baseline. It's going foul, no play. You know, Ralph, they don't need an air-conditioned stadium down here because of the heat. They need it for those mosquitoes. Now, that wouldn't have landed on the scorecard at Lindsay's. Lindsay marked it down as a run score. One away, nobody on. 1 ball, 1 strike. I'll tell you, if I see a great big one resting on your shoulder, I'll be kind to you and not tell you about it. Joe Kresnick, our engineer, normally radio engineers at ball games wear a headset. He's got a couple of swords. Now the 1-1 delivery, and that's over for a strike on the inside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Infield and the outfield swung toward right against the speedy Al Spangler. Now Roger Craig, the tall, slim right-hander, delivers. A drive hit hard down the right field line. Christopher running hard. Makes the catch near the line. 2 men down. That ball really ripped by Al Spangler, and Christopher caught up with it just before he reached the line. Very close to the temporary ballpark where the games are being played this year here in Houston. The tremendous excavation for the beautiful new ballpark. And since nothing more than the excavation has been done, it is right now a real Texas-sized swimming pool. Nobody on, 2 men down. Craig out of the windup delivers, and it's a smash through the box going up the middle for a base hit by Ramon Mejias, the right fielder. So Mejias takes the turn. He's out with a single to center. Comes up, Larker hitting cleanup. Larker hitting at 263 on the year. 53 runs batted in. Stocky left-hand batter. Line drive type hitter. Dave Roberts, the rookie, was at first base this afternoon in the early part of the game for the Houston Colt-45s. Faces popping up in the major leagues now that we are into September, and ball clubs want to get a look at the firehands that enjoyed real good years in the minor leagues. There goes the runner. Pitches a strike to pick by Canizero. What a throw! But he is saved at second base. Now Elias Stone whirls to argue with the second base umpire, Jag Crawford. Chris Canizero made a tremendous throw down to second, and on a close play at second base, he slides in with a stolen base. His 11th stolen base of the year. So Ramon Mejias has set himself up in potential scoring position with 2 men down. Count of strike 1 on Norm Larker. Carl Warwick, the center fielder, is on deck, and then Bob Aspermani. To take his sign from Canizero. Here's the pitch on the way. Inside and low. 1 ball, 1 strike. 45s right now riding their best spurt of the entire year. They have won 10 of their last 13 ball games. They are riding their longest winning streak of the season, a streak of 5 straight. And right now, the Dodgers and Giants are in a flat-footed tie in the National League pennant race. Here's the pitch on the way. And it's bounced foul down the first baseline. The Dodgers can either regain undisputed possession of first by a half game if they win tonight, and if they lose, they'll fall behind the Giants by a half game. The Cincinnati Reds are facing a comeback from behind effort, just as they did last night. Last night they trailed St. Louis 4-1, came from behind, tied the game in the 9th, fell behind in the 10th, tied the game in the 10th, and then won it in the 11th. Reds right now 3 games out of first place. But they're trailing the Cardinals 4-1 at the end of 3.5 tonight. Here's the pitch to Larker. He golfed it, a ground ball off his ankle, and that one really hurt. It knocked his legs right out from under him. the 3.5 back, pending the outcome of their game and, of course, the Dodger-Pittsburgh game tonight in Los Angeles. Walks around trying to shake the pain out of his ankle. He was hit by a foul ball. And that one was really painful. It knocked his legs right out from under him. Count 1 ball and 2 strikes. No score. We're in the last half of the first inning. In that St. Louis-Cincinnati game tonight, Joey J is after his 22nd victory of the year. Playing Larker as the pull hitter. Elioshi Cohn shaded far over towards second. Rod Canio back on the rim of the outfield grass. Pitching 1 and 2. Inside and low, and now it's 2 and 2 on Larker. Count is even now, 2 and 2. Carl Warwick, the center fielder, occupying the on-deck circle. Now Craig up in pitching position. Pickoff play. Throw to second. Save. Close play. Ramon Mejias had to dive back head first, and he just got back in time. They had the pickoff play going, and the timing was excellent. Elioshi Cohn darting in to take the throw from Roger Craig. Mets in tonight's game, once again, are without the services of Richie Ashburn. Richie was hurt in the game yesterday, diving for a ball in foul territory just over the line. And he has a very stiff and a very sore shoulder, which restricts his throwing, and Richie is out of action. He is in uniform, and he was used as a bench runner in the game this afternoon. Count 2 and 2 on Norm Larker. Now Craig ready, delivers, and the breaking ball just misses. 3 and 2. Tomorrow's game time changed from the original schedule. Will be on the air at 5:55 tomorrow evening in New York for the last of this 4-game series. Then Monday night, the Mets are home, meeting the Milwaukee Braves in the Polo Grounds. It's gone 3 and 2 on Norm Larker. Here's the payoff pitch. Ball 4. It's outside. That'll bring up Carl Warwick. Warwick hitless in 9 times at bat in the series. Right-hand batter hitting at .259 on the year. Carl came up through the Dodger organization. They traded him on to St. Louis, and St. Louis traded him to Houston in the Bobby Shantz trade early this year. That has been a good trade for both ball clubs. Warwick has played well for Houston. And little Bobby Shantz has had a good year for the St. Louis Cardinals. Now Craig ready. In comes his pitch. A foul ball. High into the air. Back upstairs. It'll be out of play. The third baseman is out on deck. Now Slim looks in, takes his sign from Kenneth Arrow. Here's the pitch on the way. Outside and low, 1 ball, 1 strike on Carl Warwick. Position, delivers ground ball hit down to third. Up with the ball, Felix Charlie Neal, and Charlie makes the fourth play at third on Ramon Mejias to retire the side. Side out in the last half of the first. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on. And now at the end of 1, the score: the New York Mets, nothing, and the Houston Colt-45s, nothing. Well, you know, next year, you'll We'll be seeing the New York Mets play their home games in beautiful new surroundings in the new Flushing Meadows Stadium. You know, work on the new ballpark has progressed to the extent that the Mets are now accepting applications for season boxes and combination plan tickets. Prospective purchasers may send names and addresses to ticket manager, Polo Grounds, New York 39, and application blanks will be sent to them. Present subscribers need not apply as applications will be mailed to them. First time you get the opportunity and you're out for a leisurely drive, be sure and swing by Flushing Meadows and see the tremendous progress that has been made on the beautiful new home of the New York Mets, Flushing Meadows Stadium. The field work has gone up amazingly fast. And when it is all done, it is going to be a real thrill to watch the Mets in action in that beautiful new surrounding. We've enjoyed tremendously broadcasting ball games this year from the beautiful new stadium for the Los Angeles Dodgers on the West Coast. And when the stadium is done out in Flushing Meadows, it will be even better. Well, they are incorporating and taking advantages of any mistakes that might have been made there to make this one even better. Thornberry will be leading off as we go along to the top of the second. First baseman number 2, Thornberry. Marv looking for his first base hit in the Houston series. Marv 0 for 5 thus far. Farrell out of his windup. Here's his pitch, and it's fouled back into the screen, strike 1. Down comes the pitch, and it's whacked foul again by Thornberry, back toward the crowd. Ralph, interestingly enough, here's a fellow, Farrell, who has lost 18 ball games, but I know when you hear the hitters talk, they hate to go up against him. He has a good fastball, Bob, and of course a lot of pitchers that he hit against are tougher to hit against than their record actually indicates. Swing and a miss, and he struck him out with that blazing fastball. Nobody on, top of the second. Now Jim Hickman coming on. Jim has 1 hit and 8 times up in this series. Well, we hope you're enjoying the broadcast of tonight's game, brought to you from Houston, Texas, with the best wishes of Rheingold Extra Dry. And right along with the ball game, we hope you'll enjoy a fine cold glass of Rheingold Extra Dry. It's beer as beer should taste. Tells you why. Now Jim Hickman up against Turk Farrell takes the pitch, ball 1. Jim from Henning, Tennessee, a right-hand hitter batting at 261. Breaking ball outside and low, it's ball 2, 2-0. Jim just about straight away. He holds up. He started to go, had a notion, then thought better of it. And it's outside and low, ball 3, 3-0. After this series, the Mets will have 17 games left. Fastball in there, a strike, 3-1. 12 games at home in the Polo Grounds and 5 on the road. They wind up their home season on September 23rd, then play their last 5 of the year on the road in Milwaukee and Chicago. Pitching 3-1. Ripped foul over toward the Houston dugout. Goes right into the dugout, and the count is 3-2. A couple of the players down toward the end of the dugout fence really had to scramble to get out of the way of that one. The professionals who are paid to catch a baseball for a living, when a foul ball goes in there, they get out of the way in a hurry. Line drive, hit hard. Oh, it's foul by about a yard, deep down the left field line. He really ripped the curveball and hit it hard, but it went foul by less than a yard, deep down the left field line. Danny Murtaugh says the fellows who are paid to catch a ball for a living, they'll get out of the way of a hot foul ball like that. But the is a great fan, you'll see him trying to make a fair hand catch. Now the payoff pitch by Turk Farrell, a swing and a miss. He struck him out. He is going with that hummer. 2 up and 2 struck out by Turk Farrell, and that brings up Joe Christopher. Joe has 2 hits and 6 times up. He had a 9th inning triple that led to a run that broke a 2-2 tie, but Houston picked up 2 in the home 9th inning and won it 4-3 this afternoon. Joe's hitting has perked up over the last 3 weeks. Down comes the pitch. Off the outside corner, it's ball 1. Christopher won a game for the Mets on this road trip in St. Louis with a timely 2-run pinch single. Infield to the outfield, straight away. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Big Turk Farrell, hard-throwing right-hander from Brookline, Massachusetts. Delivery, swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He has really been zeroing in on his target here at the top of the second. Struck out Thornberry, struck out Hickman. Count now 1-2 on Joe Christopher. Now Farrell looking in to Hal Smith. Here's his windup, the 1-2 delivery off the outside corner, and it's 2-2. Of the 5th inning, Cincinnati picked up a single run. It is now St. Louis 4, Cincinnati 3 at the end of 5 innings. The Reds were trailing 4-1. They now trail 4-3. The 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out. And Farrell strikes off the side, all swinging in the 2nd inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. The score at the end of an inning and a half. The New York Mets nothing and the Houston Colt-45s nothing. Well, with expansion coming to the National League this season, that meant 162 ball games. More baseball and an exciting pennant race for National League baseball fans. And of course, along the way, plenty of refreshing Rheingold. You know, Rheingold goes good at any season. You can enjoy it any time because Rheingold has that extra dry flavor that's brisk and bright and clean clear through. Those 2 little words make the big difference in taste. Extra dry tells you why Rheingold has a taste all its own. It tells you that Rheingold is brewed the long, slow, costlier way, brewed extra dry for extra enjoyment. Why not settle back with a cool glass of Rheingold Extra Dry and enjoy it along with the game? You'll join millions who say, my beer is Rheingold the dry beer. At the Polo Grounds, you won't want to miss the excitement of the Cincinnati Reds making their final appearance for a 3-game series Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday, 14th, 15th, and 16th of September. You've got to hand it to Hutch and the Reds. They seem to be hopelessly out of it, and they fought right back. Ground ball bounced right up the middle by Bob Astromonti for a base hit. He hit the first pitch thrown by Roger Craig and leads off the home second. Is coming up. Freddie Hutchinson has probably done as good a job, if not a better job, this year than he did last year while his team won the pennant. Last year, everyone in baseball generally agreed that he turned in an outstanding managing job. But this year, he's had his third baseman Gene Freeze out all year long. Frank Robinson got off to a slow start, and Jim O'Toole got off to a slow start. Last year, Hutch was named by his colleagues as Manager of the Year. Here's the pitch on the way, and Smith takes outside. A throw to first by Canizero. It's not in time. It's all over in Baltimore. The Angels have won a pitching duel from the Orioles 2-1. The Angels were out-hit 11-3, but won the game. Walensky is the winner, and Estrada the loser. Bo went out of the game in the sixth inning and was picked up in relief by Don Lee. Now throw to first by Roger Craig as he goes to work on Bob Aspermani. Down comes the pitch by Craig, breaking ball over a strike on the outside corner. You never know where you'll get a lift in this game of baseball. This afternoon, Jim Campbell was catching for Houston. He suffered an injury, had to leave the game. Hal Smith took over behind the plate. And lo and behold, Smith came up and homered to tie the game. Now Craig checks the runner. Throws to first base, not in time. Roger has picked 13 men off this year, including Maury Wills and Willie Mays. Outside and low, ball 2-1 on Hal Smith. The American League pennant race, the top three teams were all victorious in action this afternoon and tonight. The Yankees beat the Red Sox 6-1 with Ford winning his 15th. Minnesota beat Detroit 9-2, Pasquale winning his 18th. And the Walensky, the winner, as the Angels beat the Birds 2-1 tonight. Go to first once again by Roger Craig, not in time. Up in the set position, checks the runner, delivers to the plate, and it's over at the knees for a called strike, 2-2. Anytime the leadoff runner gets on base against Roger Craig, you'll see Roger really go to work to try and pick him off. If he's on with one away or with two down, he generally will not pay nearly as much attention to him, but go ahead and work on the hitter very strongly. Up in the set position, delivers 2-2. Swing and a foul ball back into the screen, and the bat flew out of his hands. The field passed him out. Down 2-2 now to Hal Smith. Nobody out. Aspermani on first base. Here's the pitch on the way. Outside and low, it's ball 3. Now let's keep an eye on Aspermani and see if acting manager Luman Harris puts a play on. Harry Kraft expected to rejoin the ball club and take over the controls tomorrow afternoon. Now Craig makes the stop. Throws to first base, not in time. Again, a little bit too late. This is always a tough spot for the runner. 3-2 if the play is on for him to be running. Trying to get as much lead as possible and yet not get picked off. There he goes. The pitch is a foul ball coming back to our broadcasting booth. No play. Hey, what a catch. Well, the grandstand outfielder, sitting right down in front of us, really snagged that one right out of the air. Craig. Eyes Aspermani. Throws to first. Dave, he just got back. Craig had him leaning the wrong way that time. And Aspermani, sprawling and groping for the bag, just got there in the nick of time. as good as it usually is. Marv had to reach out for it, and by the time he slapped the tag on him, he had reached back in. Count full, 3-2. Now Patano, the on-deck batter. A throw to first, not in time. Crowd's starting to get on Craig a little bit now because he has thrown to first so many times, it doesn't bother Roger at all. A throw to first, not in time. It seems like more times than not, when Craig sets out with this determination to get a man, he usually gets it. Now Roger in the stretch. Delivers to the plate. The runner goes, and it's popped high in the air. Coming up the line is Throneberry near the mound. He's getting under it, and Marv takes it to the out. One away now with one on, and the batter will be Joey Amalfitano, the second baseman. Little Al Jackson hurled his one-hitter against Houston in New York in the first game of a doubleheader. It was Amalfitano who had the only hit in the ball game, a first-inning single with one man down. Amalfitano hitting at .233. Right-hand batter. Now Craig up the stretch delivers. Fastball a little bit low. 1 ball and no strikes. Up in pitching position. Delivers a swing and a miss on a breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. The game tomorrow will be on at 5:55 New York time, a single game. Next pitch by Craig. Swung on, foul tip. And the count 1-2 on Amalfitano. Dick Farrell will be hitting next. Farrell is one of those pitchers that doesn't hit too often, but he's strong, and when he gets a hold of one, he can really give it a ride. Next pitch by Craig, a grounded foul over toward the dugout of the New York Mets. Ball scoots right into the dugout, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Straight away against Joey Amalfitano. Now Craig ready, delivers. A high fly ball into left field. Moving to his glove side goes Gene Whitling. He's under it, and he puts it away for the out. 2 down now. The runner holding at first base, and coming out to hit will be Dick Farrell.
We now pause for station identification.
This is WGY, Schenectady, your New York Mets station, 810 on your radio dial.
Dick Farrell batting right-handed. Swing and a miss at strike 1. Cardinals are out in the 6th inning without scoring. The Reds sitting now in the home 6th. 4-3 ball game. The Cardinals in front. Line drive into left field for a base hit by Farrell. Whitman toward the line is up with it on his way to third, and sliding in safely there is Bob Astromonti. He hit a hard liner. Neal left the ground, reached for it. That was just beyond the reach, Shirley. Into left field for a clean base hit. Colt-45s have runners on first and third. There are 2 men away. No score last half of the second, and the hitter is Bob Lillis. Lillis, the shortstop and leadoff hitter, batting at .241. Pitch by Craig, a fly ball into right field. Christopher coming hard toward the line, and at the last moment, Christopher was coming in. Keneal was going out. Left fielder number 21, Al Spangler. Now the batter is Al Spangler. The Colt 45s take the lead 1-0. Spangler lined the ball to right field his first time up. He hit the ball hard, but Christopher caught it running to the line. Craig using the full windup. Here's his pitch. Inside and low, it's ball one. Rod Keneal took a pretty tough jolt out there in the outfield. He was going as fast as he could. Reaching out, he had the ball in his glove, and just as the ball hit in his glove, he was hit hard by Joe Christopher. Neither saw the other, and the ball squirted over toward the right field line. Position. Roger Craig takes his stand from Chris Cannizzaro. Roger out of his windup. Down comes his pitch. Ball one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Spangler hitting .283. 4 home runs and 27 runs batted in. He has exceptional speed. Let's play him around to right in the infield. Spangler, left-hand hitter, feet wide apart. Kirk Farrell leads down the line from third. And the pitch on the way is inside and low. It's ball 2, 2-1. Tonight in Houston, the humidity higher than the temperature. The temperature 81 and the humidity 88. Count on Al Spangler. Bob Lillis on second. Turk Farrell on third. 2 men down. Next pitch by Craig. Breaking ball in the dirt. It's 3-1 on Al Spangler. Oman Mejias, the right fielder, is the on-deck hitter. Back 3-2. Labor Day, the Phillies were here in Houston. They had beaten the Houston Colt-45s 15 in a row. So as a gag, the Houston Colt-45s hired a professional whammy man, so he called himself, by the name of Kid Dugan. They brought him in, and he was supposed to put the whammy on the Phillies, give them the old evil eye. It didn't work. The Phillies won both games with a doubleheader, but the next day he claims it worked, and the Colt-45s won their only game of the year from the Philadelphia Phillies. Now the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Al Spangler struck out on a breaking ball by Roger Craig. Roger notching his first strikeout. In the second inning, 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, and 2 were left on. Now at the end of 2 innings, the score, Houston 1 and New York nothing. Fans tickets are now on sale for the New York Titans American Football League home opener with the Denver Bears on September 30th. The game will be played in the Polo Grounds. And tickets for all future Titan home games are on sale at all the New York Mets ticket outlets. The advance sale window at the Polo Grounds, Grand Central Station near the 42nd and Vanderbilt ramp, and the Long Island waiting room of the Penn Station. In other games, the Phillies beat Milwaukee 6-4 this afternoon. McClish winning his 10th in relief. Henley was the loser. Seaver hit his 20th homer. It came with 2 on, and Torrey connected. Braves come into New York on Monday night for their final New York appearance of the season. The Giants beat the Cubs 7-2. Billy Pierce won his 14th. Bolin in the 8th inning. Cardwell the loser. Tonight at the end of 6, St. Louis 4, Cincinnati 3. Jackson against Joey J. Homers by Gene Oliver and Jerry Lynch. Here are the warm-ups on the West Coast. It'll be Al McBean against Southpaw Pete Rickard from Floral Park, New York. In the American League, all of the contenders won their games. The Yankees beat the Red Sox 6-1. Whitey Ford winning his 15th. Whitey had to leave the game when his leg tightened up, and Jim Coates came on to finish up. Don Swall was the loser. The White Sox beat Washington 6-3. An early win went all the way. For Early, his 7th win of the year, he now needs one more for that coveted 300 mark. Don Rudolph, the loser. The Minnesota Twins beat Detroit 9-2. Pasquale won his 18th. Mossy losing. Allison hit 2 home runs. He now has 25. Cleveland beat Kansas City 3-2. Latman besting Dan Pfister. And the Angels beat the Orioles 2-1. Belinsky over Estrada. That's the rundown on scores. And for the rundown on action, Ralph Kiner.
Okay, Bob, it's Rod Canio, right-hand batting second baseman, and his first pitch is a fastball. Outside for ball 1. Canio scoring around as though to push a bunt out towards second base. 1 ball, no strike.
Now Craig with a 2-1 count on Al Spangler. Bob Lillis on second. Turk Farrell on third. 2 men down. Next pitch by Craig. Breaking ball in the dirt. It's 3-1 on Al Spangler. Amon Mejias, the right fielder, is the on-deck hitter. Count 3-1. In comes the pitch. Fast foul on the ground, coming right straight back. 3-2. Labor Day, the Phillies were here in Houston. They had beaten the Houston Colt-45s 15 in a row. So as a gag, the Houston Colt-45s hired a professional whammy man, so he called himself by the name of Kid Dugan. They brought him in, and he was supposed to put the whammy on the Phillies, give them the old evil eye. It didn't work. The Phillies won both games with a doubleheader, but the next day he claims it worked, and the Colt 45s won their only game of the year from the Philadelphia Phillies. Now the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Al Spangler struck out on a breaking ball by Roger Craig. Roger notching his first strikeout. In the second inning, 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, and 2 were left on. Now at the end of 2 innings, the score, Houston 1 and New York nothing. Well, fans, tickets are now on sale for the New York Titans American Football League home opener with the Denver Bears on September 30th. The game will be played in the Polo Grounds. And tickets for all future Titan home games are on sale at all the New York Mets ticket outlets. The advance sale window at the Polo Grounds, Grand Central Station near the 42nd and Vanderbilt ramp, and the Long Island waiting room of the Penn Station. In other games, the Phillies beat Milwaukee 6-4 this afternoon. McClish winning his 10th in relief. Henley was the loser. Seaver City his 20th homer. It came with 2 on, and Torrey connected. Braves come into New York on Monday night for their final New York appearance of the season. The Giants beat the Cubs 7-2. Billy Pierce won his 14th. Bolin in the 8th inning. Cardwell the loser. Tonight at the end of 6, St. Louis 4, Cincinnati 3. Jackson against Joey J. Homers by Gene Oliver and Jerry Lynch. Here are the warm-ups on the West Coast. It'll be Al McBean against Southpaw Pete Rickard from Floral Park, New York. In the American League, all of the contenders won their games. The Yankees beat the Red Sox 6-1. Whitey Ford winning his 15th. Whitey had to leave the game when his leg tightened up, and Jim Coates came on to finish up. Don Swall was the loser. The White Sox beat Washington 6-3. An early win went all the way. For Early, his 7th win of the year, he now needs one more for that coveted 300 mark. Don Rudolph, the loser. The Minnesota Twins beat Detroit 9-2. Pasquale won his 18th. Mossy losing. Allison hit 2 home runs. He now has 25. Cleveland beat Kansas City 3-2. Latman besting Dan Pfister. And the Angels beat the Orioles 2-1. Belinsky over Estrada. That's the rundown on scores, and for the rundown on action, Ralph Kiner.
Okay, Bob, it's Rod Cannell, right-hand batting second baseman, and his first pitch is a fastball. Outside for ball one. Cannell scoring around as though to push a bunt out towards second base. 1 ball, no strikes. On the mound for the Colt 45s, Turk Farrell, big, strong right-hander with a record of 9 wins and 18 losses. Farrell has a record this year against the Mets of 1 win and 2 losses. All of his games have been well-pitched games. 2-0 pitch high for ball 3. So now the count 3-0 as Cannell leads off. The on-deck batter is Chris Canizero. He'll be followed by the pitcher, Roger Craig. Now Farrell into the windup and delivers, and it's a fastball through for strike 1. Farrell beat the Mets on May 22nd, 3-2. He lost to them on June 11th, 3-1, and also lost to them on June 22nd, 2-0. There's a fastball for strike 2. So Farrell now picking the count up. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes on Rod Cannell. 1-0 game, favor of the Houston Colt 45. Now the windup in the 3-2 pitch. A fastball popped up in the air. The second baseman waiting, Joe Malfitano, and he puts it away for out number 1. And that will bring up Chris Canizero. Cannell before the out, batting .256. Canizero coming on, batting .214. Chris, right-hand batting catcher for the Mets, now in the batter's box. To take up with his first encounter with Turk Farrell. Now Farrell in the windup, and the first pitch. Fastball outside, ball 1. Farrell has struck out 4 batters so far in the game in 2 1/3 innings. He has a total of 178 strikeouts on the year. There's a line drive to right center field coming on Mejias. He can't get to it. It drops in for a base hit. And that is the first hit of the game off Turk Farrell. It will bring up Roger Craig. Colt 45s have 1 run on 4 hits. The Mets have 1 hit now. And they have their first base runner. Roger Craig, right-hand batting pitcher, coming out of the dugout. He's hitting .044. No home runs and 2 runs batted in. Farrell has struck out 178 batters in 203 innings so far this year. The strikeout leader in the National League, Sandy Koufax, who has been out of action for quite some time. He leads the National League with 209 strikeouts. Here's the first pitch to Craig. It's bunted out towards the right side and going foul. Strike 1 counted, Roger. 1 man out, the on-deck batter, Ilya Chacon. Incidentally, Sandy Koufax has been throwing batting practice for the Dodgers. And they are looking forward to his reappearance in the lineup. 1 strike pitch to Craig outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Both Norm Larker and the third baseman, Bob Aspermonte, looking for the bunt against Craig, charging very strongly. 1 ball, 1 strike. And now Farrell back to work. And the next pitch is bunted foul again, so it's strike 2. Fastball pitcher like Turk Farrell, very tough to bunt. And especially bunts the ball on the ground. And here in the Colts Stadium, the lights are not the best, as this is a temporary setup. 2 strikes. And the pitch back is lined right by Larker down the right field line. A base hit coming over Mejias. He's up with the ball. He throws on into second base, but going over to third on the base hit, Chris Canizero. So Roger Craig, after failing the bunt, moves Canizero all the way to third base, and with 1 out, runners are at first and third, and Ilya Chacon comes up. Ilya was caught looking in the first inning. One of the 4 strikeout victims by Turk Farrell. hitting .231. And now Farrell back on top, and the first pitch is a fastball high, ball one. Bob Aspromani at third base, even with the bag, looking for a play at either home or second base. The rest of the infield set up for the double play with one man out. 1-0 game, the Colts lead. There's a fastball back to Chacon, again high. 2 balls and no strikes. Takes too long in the mound, and Chacon steps out of the batter's box. Now Chacon calling Cookie Lavagetto up to have a talk. Cookie, the third base coach. Sally Hemus back on the lines for the Mets at first base. He's been out on a scouting tour, and he joined the Mets here, or as Bob Murphy put it, the Mets joined him here in Houston. Sally Hemus makes his home in this Texas city. Time in as Chacon comes back to the batter's box. And Farrell goes back to work. And the next pitch is high inside. It moves Chacon away from the plate. Ball 3. So Turk Farrell, who has yet to walk a man, now a pitch away from loading up the bases. 3 balls and no strikes. Into the stretch position. And back to Chacon. A fastball that's inside for ball 4. That loads him up and brings up Charlie Neal. Charlie flied out to right field his first time up. Batting .251. Right-hand batting third baseman. On at third base, Chris Canizero. At second base, Roger Craig. Moved down there after the walk to Chacon. And with 1 out, the Mets have a rally going. 1-0 game in favor of the Houston Colt-45s. Top of the third inning. Farrell with the sign now into the windup and delivers. Fastball high for ball 1, just above the letter. For the Colt 45, they don't waste any time down here. They have them up and throwing early. But their relief staff has done an excellent job this year. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Neal. Fastball inside again and high. 2 balls and no strikes. So Farrell now falling behind Neal after walking Chacon, and Hal Smith walking the ball back to the pitcher's mouth. Talking to Farrell on the mound. As Bob Tiefenauer warms up in the bullpen for the Colt 45. Tiefenauer, knuckleball specialist. Houston 1 run on 4 hits. The Mets have no runs and 2 hits. And the Mets with the bases loaded. And the next pitch to Neal. Line right through the middle in the center field, a base hit. Scoring from third base, Canizero now coming around from second base, Roger Craig. The throw coming in is cut off, but too late. And going on down to second base after the single on the throw in is Johnny Neal. And Chacon moves over to third base, and the Mets now have taken the lead by a score of 2-1 here in the top of the third. Still only 1 man out. Runners at second and third, and Gene Woodling comes up. Gene bobbed up to the first baseman, and now the sign goes out to give him an intentional pass. And Farrell in the stretch position throws ball 1. The 2 RBIs for Charlie Neal is 54th and 55th of the year. There's ball 2 to Woodling. The on-deck batter is Mark Throneberry. Farrell again back outside for ball 3. 3-0. And now ball 4, and that loads him up once again. And coming up, Marv Throneberry. Marv struck out swinging his first time up. He's batting .249. 14 home runs and 40 runs batted in. First baseman, number 2, Marv Throneberry. 2-1 in favor of the Mets. Top of the third inning. And the infield back for the double play with the bases loaded and only one man out. And here's the first pitch to Marv. A fastball that's inside, ball 1. Farrell retired the Mets 1-2-3 in the first and second innings. But the Mets, after Keneal had gone out, coming up with 4 consecutive men on base. Taking plenty of time as the sign. And comes back to Throneberry with a fastball that's hit out to left field. It could drop in. Coming on the left fielder, Spangler. He can't get to it. Scoring from third base, Elias Chacon, and following him around is Charlie Neal. And the Mets now lead it by a score of 4-1. Moving on down to second base on the base hit, Gene Woodling. And now the Mets with runners at first and second base, and the batter is Jim Hickman. That ball was looped out to left field. The left fielder, Al Spangler, playing a very deep left field, could not get to it. It dropped in front of him. And 2 men scored. And with the 2 in, it's now 4-1 as Jim Hickman, right-hand batting center fielder, steps up. It's all even now at 4 feet. Jim struck out swinging his first time up, and he looks at the curve for strike 1. In the stretch position and back to the plate with the curveball. Hit down to third base. The third baseman, Nasromani, comes up with the ball, goes over, steps on third, goes to first base in time for the double play, and that retires the side. In the inning for the New York Mets, they score 4 runs on 4 hits. And they leave 1 man on, and the score at the end of 2 1/2 innings to play. The New York Mets 4, the Houston Colts 45-1. Now here's one of your favorite vocalists with a bright new tune about New York's favorite beer.
Ask me, Vic Simone, what beer to buy.
I'll tell you.
That Rheingold Extra Dry. Now that's the beer to buy. It's flavored brisk and bright. And clearly extra dry. It's New York's favorite brew. The only one for you because it's dry and true. That's Rheingold Extra Dry. The taste of Rheingold's right because it's brewed just right. Brewed long and slow for flavor. Clean and extra dry. That Rheingold Extra Dry. Now that's a beer to buy. It's extra dry. That's why. Have some Rheingold beer tonight. It's New York's favorite brew, the only one for you, because it's dry and true. Have a Rheingold beer tonight.
Moving now to the bottom half of the third inning with the Mets leading 4-1, and we'll take this opportunity to pause for station identification.
This is WGY Schenectady, where you can hear all the games of the New York Mets. For baseball, for the best in music, for comprehensive, reliable news reporting, stay tuned to WGY.
Ralph Garner along with Bob Murphy and Lindsey Nelson from Colts Stadium in Houston, Texas. And Roger Craig now getting ready to start the bottom half of the third inning. The first man up for the Colts will be Roman Mejias, batting in the third position in the batting order. Right-hand batting right fielder. And the first pitch by Craig is hit down towards the shortstop side. He's going up with the ball over to first base in time for out number 1. So Mejias, who singled his first time up, is out for the second time. should say, for the first time, and with one out, Norm Larker comes up. Norm walked his first time up. He's still in the dugout, and it looks as though they're going to send up a pinch hitter. Larker being called back. And it's a pinch hitter for Norm Larker. Dave Roberts, who played in the first game at first base and right field. Left-hand batting infielder, outfielder, and he'll probably stay in the game at first base. Roberts batting 125. No home runs and 2 runs batted in. The 2 RBIs scoring the tying and winning runs against the Pittsburgh Pirates in a 4-3 win for the Colt-45s the other night. That was his first major league base hit. 4-1 in favor of the Mets. Bottom half of the third. And Roger Craig now back to work. It's a slow curveball over for strike 1. Norm Larker taken out of the game because of a swollen left foot hit by a foul tip in his previous time up. 1 strike count on the left-hand batter. And now Craig taking too much time, so Robert steps out of the batter's box. Craig reading the signs from Chris Cannizzaro. And his 1 strike pitch, a fastball that's high inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Craig comes back to the plate with a pitch that's hit down to first base. Thornberry takes it on the bounce. Moves over to first base and makes the play unassisted for out number 2. And with 2 out, the batter will be Carl Warwick, the center fielder. Warwick get into a forced play his first time up, batting .259 and batting from the right-hand side. First pitch is ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. Now Roger into the windup and delivers back again. It's a curveball over for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 men out. That's 4 runs on 4 hits. The Colt 45s 1 run on 4 hits. Craig misses again for ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. Roger into the windup and delivers low outside for ball 3. Mets scored 4 runs in the top of the third inning to take over the lead 4-1. They lost the first game by a score of 4-3. A swing and a foul ball on the 3-1 pitch. So Roger now has picked the count up to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three and 2 with Bob Aspromonte on deck. And here's the windup and the delivery. A curveball line to left field, a base hit. One over by the corner is Gene Levy, who's up with the ball and going to second base with a stand-up double is Carl Warwick. So the Colts now run at second base with 2 out and Bob Aspromonte to bat it. Aspromonte singled to center field to start off a rally for the Colt 45s, which saw them score 1 run in the second inning. They sent 6 men to the plate in that inning against Roger Craig. Money batting 262. Right-hand batting third baseman. And now the first pitch is a curveball over for strike one. Roger Craig, 31 years of age, on the mound for the New York Mets. This is Roger's first appearance against the Colts this year, his 38th game of the season, and his 30th start. A one-strike pitch, a curve that's inside and high. One ball, one strike. Rogers won 7 games and lost 22 this year. And he has a lifetime record of 56 wins and 60 losses. On at second base, Carl Warwick with a short lead. And Craig now back to Aspermani, and the pitch is hitting the left field. Base hit coming around from second base and scoring with run number 2 for the Colt 45 is Carl Warwick. And holding at first base with an RBI, Bob Aspermani. So it's a 4-2 game now. The Mets leading and the batter coming up with 2 men out is Hal Smith. His first time up. Batting .234. He had a home run in the first game. Got into the game when the starting catcher, Jim Campbell, was injured by a foul tip. First game won by the Colt 45s when they scored 2 runs in the bottom half of the ninth to win it 4-3. There's the first pitch by Roger Craig to Hal Smith. The curveball in the dirt, dug out by Cannizzaro. Ball 1. Craig back to work, and he comes back inside high. Ball 2. Smith going down to the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. On at first base, Bob Aspermani. The RBI in this inning for Aspermani is 55th of the year. He drove in the tying run in the 9th inning of the first game. Winning run scored as an error was made on the base hit by Bob. There's a curve that is low outside. So the count now, 3 balls and no strikes. Well, Roger picked up the first 2 men, then gave up a double to Warwick, a single to Aspermani, and now he is behind 3-0 on Hal Smith. There's a 3-0 pitch, a fastball low for ball 4. That'll move Aspermani 90 feet down to second base, and now the Colt 45s have runners at first and second base. On the second walk issued by Roger Craig, and the batter now will be Joe Amalfitano. Second baseman, number 11, Joey Amalfitano. Joe batting from the right-hand side, flat out to left field his first time up. And his first pitch, a curve that is just outside, a little bit low. Ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Malfitano batting .233. Mets lead it 4-2. Bottom half of the third inning. Now Craig back on top, and this curveball is over. Strike 1. 1 strike. With 2 men out. Craig now shaking off the first sign given by Cannizzaro, taking a long look as Cannizzaro goes through the rigmarole of the signals. Now takes one and gets set on the mound. And comes back with a fastball. It's fouled down in the dirt for strike 2. Home plate umpire takes a look at the ball, then throws it out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. not liking the ball that was put in play by Barlick, asking for another and getting it. Colts have won 6 of the 7 games played here in Colts Stadium. At the Polo Grounds, they stand all even at 2 wins and 2 losses with 5 games to play. The Mets will be playing the Colts on the 18th, 19th, and 20th. Twilight doubleheaders on the 18th and 19th. There's a curve that is inside for ball 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Let's return home to open up a 12-game homestand, the final one of the year on Monday against the Milwaukee Braves. That'll be a night game. And let us remind you once more, Cincinnati will be in over the weekend. 2-2 pitch, foul away, and they count a hold at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Cincinnati currently 3 1/2 games out of first place in the National League race that right now has the San Francisco Giants and the Los Angeles Dodgers all tied up with an identical record, 91 wins and 51 losses. And they will play a night game on Friday night, a day game on Saturday afternoon, and Sunday afternoon with the Mets to close out their season series. 2 balls and 2 strikes, 2 men out. Craig back with a curve. It's hit down towards third base, but it goes foul. Moving over to make the play, Charlie Neal, the ball goes off his glove and falls over towards the left seat area. So once again, Amalfitano stays alive at 2 balls and 2 strikes. The makers of Rheingold beer, happy to be sending this one your way from Houston, Texas. Now Craig with the sign and back in the stretch position. And the 2-2 pitch swung on and missed for strike 3 to retire the side. Strikeout by Roger, his second. And in the inning, the Colt 45s pick up 1 run on 2 hits. No errors. 2 men left on in the score at the end of 3 innings of play. New York Mets 4, the Colt 45s 2.
And if you have not registered, fill out this blank on the beat.
So here's another special event that will take place at the Polo Grounds during the Mets' last homestand. On Wednesday, September 19th, between games of a twilight doubleheader against Houston, 2 Owens cabin cruisers will be awarded to Met players by Howard Close. One cruiser worth $7,000 will be given to the Met with the highest score for hitting the Howard signs at the Polo Grounds. The winner will not be determined until the conclusion of the first game that night. A second cabin cruiser worth $5,000 will be given to the most valuable Met player as voted by the fans. Voting for this award closes at all Howard stores on Saturday, September 15th. In addition, Kathy Kirsch, Miss Rheingold 1962, and Eileen Rogers, beautiful star of the musical Anything Goes, will offer the presentation. Howard Clothes will also present 5 complete wardrobes and 5 suits of clothes to fans who participate in the voting. So remember Howard Clothes Night, Wednesday, September 19th. A real big one to keep in mind. And you know, this is the time of year when a frosty glass of beer seems to taste best. And when that glass holds cold, refreshing Rheingold Extra Dry, it tastes even better. That's because Rheingold is beer as beer should taste. And dry tells you why. Enjoy it. Right along with the game as we move to the top of the 4th inning. Mets lead it 4-2, and the first man out for New York will be Joe Christopher.
Right fielder number 23, Joe Christopher.
And the first pitch to the right-hand batting right fielder is a strike called as Kirk Farrell starts off here in the 4th. Through 3 innings, he has given up 4 runs, allowed 4 hits. Struck out 4 and walked 2. Joe, one of the strikeout victims, his first time up, but he looks at the curve that's low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Farrell, 28 years of age, big, strong throwing right-hander on the mound, reading the signs from Hal Smith. And now back to work. The 1-1 pitch is hit to center field. High in the air. Moving over is Carl Walbeck. Now waiting, and he puts it away. Out number 1 here in the top of the 4th inning. And now Rod Keneal comes in. Rod popped to second base his first time up, 0 for 1. Batting at 256.
Second baseman, number 10.
Mets with a 2-run lead. They lead 4-2. Picking up 4 runs in the third inning to take the lead away from the Colt-45s, who had led it at that time 1-0. And the first pitch to the right-hand batter is bunted down towards the first base side. Farrell Austin picking up the ball, throws the first base in time for out number 2. Making the play at first base, Dave Roberts, who went in as a pinch hitter for Norm Larker. So with 2 out, the batter will be Chris Cannizzaro. Chris started off the rally in the third inning, which saw the Mets score 4 by singling to right field. Roger Craig came up and singled behind him to move him over to third base. And then Elias Chacon walked to load him up. Charlie Neal drove in 2 with a base hit, and Morris Thornberry came up and drove in 2 more with a base hit. 4-2, 2 men out, and Chris Cannizzaro, right-hand batter in. There's the first pitch. It's low outside for ball 1. Strikes, 2 men out. As Farrell goes back to work and comes in with a fastball that is swung on for strike 1. Farrell struck out the side in the second inning, picked up 1 strikeout as he got Elias Chacon at the start of the game for his 4 strikeouts. And now the 1-1 pitch, a fastball. Another swing and a miss for strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Chris Cannizzaro out of the batter's box now in. Standing deep in the box against the right-hander. The 1-2 pitch, a fastball low outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Farrell, wearing number 43, prefers to wear number 13. He would like to do it right here. But due to the scorecard problem, he had to use his old number, 43. On the road, he wears 13, and next year he'll have that number for both the home and road games. The 2-2 pitch, point on and miss to retire the side. The 5th strikeout for Kirk Farrell as he turns the Mets away, 1-2-3. In the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, and the score at the end of 3 1/2 innings of play. The New York Mets 4, the Colt 45s 2. Now a popular question put to music by none other than Guy Lombardo.
Who is the girl who be the girl Miss Ryan goes 63? She be a beauty, she be really cute, the only girl for me. Carol, Loretta, Eileen, Beverly is Prue or Chris, the one girl who will be that famous girl, that charming girl Miss Ryan goes 63. This is Guy Lombardo. Who will be Miss Ryan Gold 1963? Your vote may decide who'll have the fame and fortune of representing Ryan Gold Extra Dry, the beer that gets most New Yorkers' vote. So vote now. They're all so charming, I'm in such a fix. Yes, I'll just have to vote for all 6. Who is the girl who be the girl Miss Ryan Gold 63?
Moving to the bottom of the 4th inning with the Mets out in front, 4-2, and the first man up for the Colt 45s will be the pitcher, Dick Farrell.
43, Dick Farrell.
Farrell singled his first time up in the game. Single moving Bob Aspromonte to third base, where he scored later on when Bob Billis looped the double to right field. Now the first pitch to the right-hand batter by Roger Craig. It's a curveball low outside for ball 1. Rogers, through 3 innings, has given up 2 runs, allowed a total of 6 hits, struck out 2, and has walked 2. Now time call as Farrell goes over to get a rag soaked with pine tar to put on the bat handle. It's a warm night here. The temperature game time 81 degrees with the humidity up around 90. And now Craig back to work, and there's a ball hit down the third base side, but going foul. Charlie Neal going over, couldn't get to it. The ball goes on out in the bullpen. Bullpen area is still a little bit muddy. The outside of the playing area on the field is somewhat damp from the rains here early this morning. Infield is very dry. The tarp was on it. Outfield in certain spots, not too sure. Now Craig with a new ball, back to the plate, inside and high, ball 2. Farrell goes down to his knees. 2 balls and 1 strike. On deck batter, Bob Lillis. Craig back with a curve, and there's a fly ball, hits the left field. Wouldn't even waiting. Now moves in a couple of steps and makes the catch. So Roger gets his first man here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. And Bob Lillis comes up for the 3rd time. Lillis 1 for 3 in the game, picking up a 2-base hit when he looped the ball out to shallow right field. Rod Keneal went out to get his glove on the ball, but it was a tough chance, and when he was hit by Joe Christopher, Storr gave a 2-base hit. Lillis batting .242 for the year and batting from the right-hand side. And the first pitch to Lillis by Roger Craig. A fastball bounced off of the plate. Roger going back, has to wait. The ball comes on down, and Lillis comes up with another hit. Hit number 7 off Roger Craig, and Nolan had a chance for that one as Lillis bounced it right off of home plate. The ball bounced so high in the air that Nolan could make a play. And Lillis now with 2 hits in the game, and both of them stood on the gift side. And now with a runner at first base and 1 out, Al Spangler comes in. Left-hand batting left fielder. Spangler lined to right field his first time up, then struck out swinging his second 0 for 2, batting .283. And he looks at a slider that's low for ball 1. 1 ball, no strike. Mets have 4 runs on a total of 4 hits. The Colt-45s have 2 runs and 7 base hits off Craig. There's Craig's next pitch back to the plate. It's low again, ball 2. Again a slider. 2 balls and no strikes. Craig now throw to first base, but Lillis just a step away, gets back easily. Craig now back to the plate, and again low with a breaking pitch for 3 balls and no strikes. So Roger, who has walked 2 in the game, now 3-0 to Al Spangler. We'll have the scores of all the other Major League games for you at the end of the inning. There's a fastball that's through for strike 1. 3 balls and 1 strike. And Craig now back on top and back to the plate. Low again. It's ball 4. That puts the tying run on at first base. And then Spangler goes down to first on Roger Craig's 3rd walk of the game. Bob Lillis moves down to second base, and Ramon Mejia steps into the batter's box. Mejia's picked up the first hit of the game off Roger Craig in the first inning. He strolled second base, but was forced out at third base as Carl Warwick ended the inning. Then in the 3rd inning, Mejia grounded to the shortstop, so he is 1 for 2. Batting .287 with 23 home runs and 68 runs batted in. And Roger Craig with his first pitch to the right-hand batter outside. Low for ball 1. The curveball way outside. And Craig now behind 1-0 to Mejia. Nolan throwing in the bullpen
as they lead in the game 4-2. Position and back with the 1 pitch. 1-0 pitch. It's on for a strike. Curveball breaking over the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Infield back looking for the double play with 1 man out. Runners at first and second base. Again back to the plate with a fastball popped off of the hands in foul territory. Canizero tries to get to the ball, but it wasn't high enough in the air to allow him to get to it. It'll go as strike 2. So the 3 balls and 1 strike. And Craig now back on top and back to the plate. Low again. It's ball 4. That puts the tying run on at first base. Hunter Spangler goes down to first on Roger Craig's 3rd walk of the game. Doris moves down to second base, and Ramon Mejia steps into the batter's box. Mejia's picked up the first hit of the game off Roger Craig in the first inning. He stole second base, but was forced out at third base as Carl Warwick ended the inning. Then in the 3rd inning, Mejia grounded to the shortstop, so he is 1 for 2. Batting .287 with 23 home runs and 68 runs batted in. And Roger Craig with his first pitch to the right-hand batter outside. Low for ball 1. The curveball way outside. And Craig now behind 1-0 to Mejia. All on throwing in the bullpen for the Mets. They lead in the game 4-2. Craig into the stretch position and back with the 1 pitch. 1-0 pitch. It's on for a strike. Curveball breaking over the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Infield back looking for the double play with 1 man out. Ball way outside. And Craig now behind 1-0 to Mejia. All on throwing in the bullpen for the Mets as they lead in the game 4-2. Craig into the stretch position and back with the 1 pitch. 1-0 pitch. It's on for a strike. Curveball breaking over the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. Back looking for the double play with 1 man out. Runners at first and second base. Now Craig again back to the plate with a fastball popped off of the hands in foul territory. Canizero tries to get to the ball, but it wasn't high enough in the air to allow him to get to it. It'll go as strike 2. So the count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Roger Craig asking for the ball that was fouled off to be put back in play. So Canizero goes back, picks it up, tosses it to Al Barnick. Al looks at it and puts it back in play. So Roger Craig will be working with the same ball. Well, pitchers like to feel at certain balls. Of course, they like to keep the ball in play if that's the case. Some feel a little bit smaller, and also some are not quite as slippery as others. Roger likes to work with a very roughed up ball, throwing a lot of breaking pitches and also throwing the screwball off of his fastball action. Now it's 1-2 as Craig sets the mound and comes back with a curve that is low outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bob Lillis at second base, Al Spangler at first. And Roman Mejia's the batter. All men run well. 2 balls and 2 strikes as Craig throws a curve again, a swing and a miss for strike 3. So Roger picks up a big strikeout, his 3rd of the game, for out number 2. And now coming on, Dave Roberts.
Roberts came in the game as a pinch hitter for Norm Larcher, who started the game. Larcher went out because of a bruised instep on his left foot as a result of a foul ball. Roberts' first time up off Craig, grounded out to first base. Now batting from the left-hand side for the second time. Two men out, runners at first and second. Score 4-2 in favor of the Mets, and the first pitch to Roberts, a curve that's outside for ball one. Roger on this warm evening has thrown quite a few pitches. In the first game, Jay Hook started the game and was taken out after 6 innings, and when he went out of the game, he led 2-0. Now back to work, and a 1-0 pitch to Roberts. A curve that's again outside. Ball 2, a throw to second base too late. Back in ahead of the throw, Bob Lillis. After Hook went out of the game in the first game, the Colts started up at 2-2. The Mets took the lead in the top of the ninth, 3-2, and lost it when the Colts scored 2 in the bottom half of the ninth to win the game 4-3. Now back on top and back to the plate. A curveball that's swung on and fouled down in the dirt. Not going to 2 balls and 1 strike. The Mets will close out the season here in Houston with the Colt 45. With a day game tomorrow. Game time in New York will be at 3:55. It'll be Bob Bruce, right-hand curveball, with a record of 9 wins and 8 losses against Craig Anderson. Anderson has won 3 and lost 17. He picked up his 17th loss in the first game here today. Game time in New York is 5:55. Stand corrected. It's 3:55 here, 5:55 in New York. And there's the next pitch to Roberts outside, a curveball. 3 balls and 1 strike. That game tomorrow will be on radio and TV. 3 balls and 1 strike. Craig looking for the shine. Now sets on the mound. Runners at first and second. And the pitch back is a curveball hit high in the air to center field. Jim Hickman moving in, now waiting. And he makes the catch to retire the side. In the inning, no runs on 1 hit, no errors, a walk and 2 men left on, and the score at the end of 4 innings of play. The New York Mets 4, the Colt 45s 2. Now, once again, here's Bob Murphy to tell you about Milwaukee and Cincinnati and bring you up to date on the scores.
The Milwaukee Braves will be in New York Monday night for their final appearance of the season in the Polo Grounds. And before the game on Monday night, to add to the enjoyment of the evening, there will be field events. Those of you planning to attend the game on Monday night, hope you're planning to come early so you won't miss any of the pregame activity. Remember, too, if you're driving in, the Yankee Stadium parking facilities will be available, as well as the parking locations in and around the Polo Grounds. A wheelbarrow contest, the coaches blindfold, spun around and then trying to locate home plate. A bungo hitting contest, catcher's accuracy throwing contest, and a relay throwing accuracy contest. That's on Monday night with the Braves in town. In other games, the Phillies beat the Braves 6-4. McLeish winning his 10th in relief, loser Bob Henley. The Giants beat the Cubs 7-2. Pierce the winner. He's now 14-5. Cardwell the loser. We're in the 6th inning with New York leading 4-2. Around comes the arm from Bell, a swing and a miss. He threw in the third pitch. Rod went right after it, and the count is even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Base hits are all even in the game. Each team with 7. New York with a 2-run lead. Foul ball back into the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Rod Keneal. Keneal and Jim
Hickman, both rookies, have now both been up over 300 times this year. They've seen a lot of action. The 1-2 delivery, foul ball back into the screen, no play. Tricky Lavagetto did a good job of scouting the West Coast last season for the New York Mets. Keeping an eye out for possible draft choices in the expansion. And Jim Hickman may turn out to be a real find for the New York Mets. Now Christopher takes his lead off first. The 1-2 pitch by Farrell. Strike call. The Blazer on the outside corner, and Camille is called out. That's the 7th strikeout in the game for Farrell. Now here's Chris Canizero hitting against Kurt Farrell with 2 down and Christopher on first. We're in the top of the 6th inning, 4-2 ball game, New York leading. Chris singled to right center field his first time up and was struck out his second trip. Here's the pitch by Farrell, a swing and a miss on a letter high fastball, strike one. Roberts holding against the runner at first base. Down comes the pitch, a swing and a miss, strike two. I'll bet Canizero is going to lose 8 or 9 pounds while catching this ball game. It isn't that the weather is so hot, it's only 81 degrees, which the Texans say is a cold wave for this time of the year. But the humidity has been extremely high. Jay Hook pitched 6 innings in the opening ball game and lost 9 pounds. Now the pitch on the way. A line drive into center field. A base hit. Christopher around second. He's going on to third. He was running on the pitch. Runners now on first and third as Canizero hangs up his second hit of the game. And he really banged that one, a hard liner into center. Right here while we wait for Roger Craig to come out and hit. We'll pause for station identification.
Time 11:56. You get the news 5 minutes sooner on WABC New York. Temperature 64 degrees.
Now's the time to come up to the menthol magic of Tool. From Colt Stadium in Houston, this is Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kanner. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Let's have runners at the corners with 2 men down. Roger, 1 hit and 2 times up. He got a single to right field his first time up tonight. Here's the pitch on the way. Swing and a miss, strike one. These hits have been hard to come by throughout the year for Roger. He has 4 for the season. Now they get Bobby Tiefenauer up and throwing again on the Houston bullpen. Here's the pitch. Right in there, a fastball for a strike. 2 strike count on Roger Craig. Now the 2-strike delivery. Outside and low, delayed steal by Canizero. No throw is made for him. The fake goes back to the mound, where it's taken by Kurt Farrell. He has no play at third. Good execution on the delayed steal by Chris Canizero. Canizero waited until the ball just was hitting into the catcher's mitt before he broke. And he caught the Colt-45s by surprise. They made no attempt at all to get him. Stolen base for Canizero. Runners on second and third now. Count 1-2 on Roger Craig. Farrell off the stretch. And the pitch thrown. It's in there for a called third strike. And that's the 8th strikeout in 6 innings for Kurt Houston, the New York Mets 4 and the Houston Colt-45s 2. And now a word from Cool Cigarettes.
Are you thinking of changing to a menthol cigarette? Well, don't make a disappointing change. Make the right change. Come up to Cool. Here's why. Coolness you feel in your throat when you smoke Cool. Enjoy that bright, clear taste all day long. Come up to Cool. Cool with the pure white filter or Cool without filter.
Please report to the stadium office. In the last of the sixth inning, the leadoff hitter for the Houston Colt-45s will be Joey Amalfitano. The warm-up action is decided in the Houston bullpen, although the pitcher is scheduled up next. Amalfitano has flied to left and struck out. Joey is 0 for 2 in the game. Amalfitano hitting at 232, bats right-handed. Let's play him straight away in the infield, straight away in the outfield. It's thrown by Craig, a grounder, hits it short. Quick hop played by Elio to fake to first in time. And Amalfitano erased. Elio Ciccone to Miles Thornberry. One away and nobody on now, and the pitcher is scheduled up and he'll be hitting. Farrell has real good power, but he can get a hold of one. He hit a hard line drive over Neil's head for a solid base hit in the second inning, and he flied to left field in the fourth inning, so he has 1 hit and 2 times up. His windup, down comes his pitch. A high fly hit east to left field. This one is way back. It might. It is up. It is up. Outside, it's ball 1. Next pitch by Roger Craig, a smash on the ground towards second. Fielded back to Neal. He takes to Thornberry, getting Bobby Lillis 2 down. 2 outs now in the last half of the sixth inning, and the hitter will be Al Spangler. just waiting. Here's the pitch. And he pops the ball up. An infield pop fly on the right side. Rod Canio calling for it near the mound. Drops the ball. For the first. Safe. He has put back in safely. An error charged to Rod Canio, a high, what appeared to be easy infield pop fly. Rod moving in toward the mound was under it, and lo and behold, it popped right out of his glove. Now Canizero goes out to talk to Roger Craig for a minute and say, don't let it bother you. Dave Roberts will be coming up. Roberts will be hitting for the third time. He has grounded out to Throneberry and flying to center. Defense hurt the Mets in the afternoon ball game. They were guilty of 5 errors, including one in the 9th inning that won the game for the Houston Colt-45s. Now Craig working under adverse conditions. Runners on first and third. 2 men down. The batter is the left-hand hitter, Dave Roberts. 2 infield errors, and the Guns have runners at first and third. Here's the pitch. A pop foul over toward the dugout. Canizero hoping for a play, running hard, and he stumbled over the bat boy and fell, and let's see how this one is called. He may be called out. He will be. The bat boy crossed near the on-deck circle by the on-deck hitter, Carl Warwick, failed to get out of the way of Chris Canizero, and Canizero, with his eye on the ball and running toward the field boxes, stumbled over the leg of the bat boy and fell, and the ball landed just a few feet beyond Canizero, and so Roberts is out on the play. Give Canizero credit for a putout. The side is retired in the 6th inning with no runs, no hits, 2 errors, and 2 left on. So now at the end of 6th, the score, the New York Mets 4 and the Houston Colt-45s 3. All right, Bob, thank you very much. Chuck Farrell out taking his warm-up tosses now. Here's a special event that's going to take place at the Polo Grounds during the Mets' last homestand that you won't want to miss on Sunday, September 16th, during pregame ceremonies before the game against the 1961 National League champion Cincinnati Reds. Bohack Supermarkets and King Corn Stamps will present a fully equipped Daytona Lark automobile to the most popular Met player. On that day, there will also be 2,000 guests of Bohack at the Polo Grounds, one of whom also will receive a fully equipped Daytona Lark. So remember the date, Sunday, September 16th, Bohack Day. Tickets for this game and all future games are now on sale at the Polo Grounds, Grand Central Station, and Pennsylvania Station. Reservations may also be made at all Howard Clothes stores. Elio Chacon is at the plate, and the first pitch is in there for a call, strike 1. And it's blown away for a ball. It's 1-1. Chacon is 1 for 2 on a walk. Pitch comes in high, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike now to the Mets shortstop. In the afternoon game, it was the Mets bat boy who very nearly was involved in a collision on a high pop, but he escaped, and just now the Houston Colt 45 bat boy was involved. Here's a pitch in there for a call strike. It's 2-2. And because of the interference, of course, the out was called, and the put out is given to the catcher. For the 2-2 pitch. With the Mets leading here by a score of 4-3 in the top half of the 7th inning. The Colt 45 won this afternoon's game by a score of 4-3. Here's a swing, and it's a base hit going up the middle for Elio Chacon. Warwick up with it, relays it in, and Chacon turns and holds it first.
Radio has 2 base hits in tonight's game, and here comes Charlie Neal, who also has 2. He had a single to drive in 2 runs in the top of the 3rd, and he had a single in the top of the 5th as well.
Third baseman number 4.
Against the Houston Colts 45s this season, Charlie Neal's been up 34 times, has 14 hits, so he is batting .412 against the Houston Colts 45s. He's a native Texan from Longview. Pitch out, but nothing was on, so it goes as ball 1 to Charlie Neal. Gene Woodling is now on deck for the New York Mets. Up and into the stretch. Chacon leads at first, and here's the pitch to Neal. Swung, and it's a high hopper down the third baseline. Taken by the catcher, and the throw on to first, not in time. He's safe, and Chacon holds at second. Hal Smith out there to make the play on the ball, wheeled and through to first, but not in time to get Neal as he beat it out for another base hit. Chacon holding at second base.
7,678. Official league day, 6,568.
So the Mets have back-to-back base hits. Tiefenauer is up and throwing in the bullpen. Right-hander and knuckleballer Bob Tiefenauer warming up for the Colt 45s. Here's Gene Woodling at the plate, a left-hand batter who is popped out, walking flat out to center field. Runners leading at first and second base. Kirk Farrell with a pitch swung on, and it's a high pop into short center field. Coming in is Carl Warwick. He's underneath, and he's waiting, and he makes the catch for the out. There's no advance. One away on Woodling's fly ball to center, and Mara Thornberry's coming up. Mara Thornberry sliced the base hit into left field with the bases loaded in the top half of the 3rd to account for 2 of the 4 runs that the Mets scored in the top of the 3rd. Mets got all 4 of their runs in the top of the 3rd, and they lead here by a score of 4-3. You know, now's the time to sit back, relax, and light up a cool cigarette. Chacon leads at second. Charlie Neal leads at first. Here's a throw to second, and he's out at second base. They got Chacon. Chacon has been picked off as Bob Lillich, the shortstop, got in behind him. So the pickoff goes 1-6. Two away, Neal at second. Takes the pressure off Kirk Farrell right here. Now Marv Thornberry standing in and waiting, left-hand batter. Here's the pitch. It's tight for ball 1. Bob Miller's throwing in the bullpen for the Mets. It's a swing and a miss. 1-1 count to Thornberry. Rick Hersher also is throwing to Sammy Taylor in the bullpen. Charlie Neal standing on the bag at first. Now takes his lead, and Farrell's pitch to Thornberry. It's swung on and fouled off out of play. It's 1-2. Game of the series tomorrow, and it will be the final appearance of the New York Mets here in Houston, Texas this season. We'll be on the air at 5:55 p.m. New York time. Game time is 6 p.m. New York time. That's 4 p.m. Houston time. Thornberry waits for the 1-2 pitch. Takes it outside for ball 2. It's 2-2. Houston Colt 45s won this afternoon's game by a score of 4-3 by scoring 2 runs with 2 men out in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Like to project it a little further, there were 2 strikes on the batter. Swing and a miss, and Farrell chalks up his 9th strikeout, getting Marv Thornberry. In the top half of the 7th, the New York Mets got no runs on 1 hit. 2 hits, I beg your pardon. No errors and 1 left. At the end of 6.5 innings of play, the score is the New York Mets 4 and the Houston Colt-45s 3. And now, here's a familiar tune well worth marching to. Play it, people say it. My beer is Rheingold, the dry beer, and dry tells you why. Yes, sir, dry tells you Rheingold has a brisk, bright, clean taste all its own. Discover the difference dry makes. Pour yourself a tall, refreshing glass of Rheingold Extra Dry. Enjoy it, along with the ball game. Now for the New York Mets, Rick Hersher has gone into left field in place of Gene Woodley.
Now playing left field for the Mets, number 6, Rick Hersher.
So if you're keeping a scorecard, Hersher will bat 3rd in place of Gene Woodley. As we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning now, the Colt 45s have Carl Warwick at the plate, right-hand batter. Roger Craig bending from the waist, looking in for the sign. He has it into the windup, and the pitch is on the way. It's swung out and fouled out. Carl Warwick's one of the few men in the major leagues who throws left and bats right. Craig works the pitch, and it's inside for ball. It's 1-1. The official paid attendance here tonight, 6,568. Total attendance in the ballpark, 7,678. There's a pitch, low and outside, and coming all the way back to the screen. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. And Galen Cisco have joined the New York Mets. They are here and in uniform tonight. There's a pitch low for a ball. It's 3-1. Sherman Jones has been here in uniform for this entire series. The 3-1 pitch. Low and away, and he walked him. So the Colt 45s open up. The bottom half of the 7th. By getting Carl Warwick out at first. He represents potential tying run. Coming up is Bob Aspromonte. 2 for 3 tonight. It was his base hit. That enabled the Colt 45s to win in the bottom half of the 9th this afternoon. Craig now up and into the stretch as Warwick leads at first, and here's the pitch. It's in there for a call strike. Thornberry charging at first base, as was Charlie Neal at third in anticipation of a bunt attempt, but he did not square. Lum Harris coaching at third, running the strategy department of the Houston Colt 45. There's a pitch out. Thought something might be on it, wasn't. It's 1-1.
Tomorrow will be Bruce versus Craig Anderson.
Roger Craig is up and into the stretch. Throw over. 1-1. Perhaps you heard the announcement in the background that tomorrow it'll be Bob Bruce going for Colt 45s against Craig Anderson of the New York Mets. There's a pitch high. 2-1. Craig Anderson came on this afternoon to pitch the 9th inning and was the losing pitcher. the afternoon game. Craig again is looking for the sign. Now wants to start the series all over again. Now he has a sign. There's a throw over. Warwick's back safely. Breaking ball swung on as a fly to center. Lined up is Jim Hickman, and he makes the catch. Halfway on the fly ball to center. Carl Warwick returns to the bag at first. One away, and catcher Hal Smith coming up. Popped out to first, walked and fly to center. Jim Hickman has 6 putouts in center field. He's a right-hand batter. Had a home run this afternoon. Throw over. Warwick's back safely. Roger Craig is not reluctant about throwing over to first base. Throws over again, not in time. Nor is he bashful about the number of times he will throw over. He has 13 pickoffs this season as a result. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. It's strike one to Hal Smith. Pitch is low and away. Goodman is in the on-deck circle now, swinging a bat for the Colt 45s, with Joey Amalfitano due up next. The Mets lead here by a score of 4-3. Colts batting in the bottom half of the 7th. And the pitch coming high, and it's 2-1. It began to rain early this morning here in Houston and rained throughout the morning. Rained hard at that. However, there's been no difficulty in getting these 2 ball games in. Craig steps off the rubber. Warwick shortens up at first base. Throw over, not in time. Again, a throw over. Warwick back safely. The pitch to the plate this time is low to Hal Smith, and it's 3-1. Craig takes just a moment now before getting ready for the next pitch. Up and into the stretch. Here's a 3-1 pitch. In there for a call, strike 2. It's 3-2. One man out. Warwick the runner at first base. Warwick leads now. Throw over. He's back safely. Takes his lead. He's running. Pitch is swung on and popped up down toward third. Canizero now has called, and Chris Canizero makes the catch in foul territory with Neil Wright there. Roger Craig making the call. No advance. Warwick back to the bag at first. 2 men out, and Billy Goodman is coming up to bat for Joey Amalfitano. Here's the announcement.
16, Billy Goodman.
Goodman, left-hand batter, one-time batting champion of the American League. Last year with the Chicago White Sox, picked up by the Houston Colt 45s as a free agent this year. Colt-45s 3. Craig up and into the stretch. Warwick leads at first. And here's the pitch to Goodman. It's low for ball 1. Again, Craig looks in for his sign from Chris Canizero. As in, he checks and deals. Pitch is swung. It's a ground ball foul on the first baseline and continuing on down to the bullpen area of the New York Mets. 1-1 to Goodman. Richie Ashburn out of action for the New York Mets with a sore shoulder that he injured the opening game of this series when he went across the line and left to try to field a foul pop. Dive ended up in the mud hole down there all over and sustained a bruised shoulder that has him out of action. Can't throw. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Swung out and missed. Strike 2. It's 1-2. Getting a sign. And now the 1-2 pitch. It's outside. 2-2. Pitcher Dick Farrell is due up next for the Colt 45. The Turk is trying tonight to become the first Houston Colt 45 pitcher to achieve 10 victories. Here's a throw over to first, but Warwick's back safely. Here's a swing and a drive out into right center field. It's going to drop in there for a base hit. Hickman slips down. The ball goes by. Rounding third and coming out home now. It's Carl Warwick, and he scores. It's a tie-ball game. Moving on to second base. It's Billy Goodman. Looping base hit is going to be scored as a hit and an error on Hickman. As he started over to scoop the ball up, he slipped down and it went past him. To score that as a hit and an error for Billy Goodman. And right now, in order to allow our stations to identify themselves, we pause for station identification.
This is WGY Schenectady, your New York Mets station, 810 on your radio dial.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Ralph Kiner and Bob Murphy at Colt Stadium in Houston, Texas, where the Colts have just tied this ball game 4-4. Billy Goodman with a looping base hit out into center field, on which Jim Hickman slipped down trying to scoop it up, and it goes as a hit and an error. And Kirk Farrell is coming up now with 2 men out. Billy Goodman leads off the bag at second. Greg looking in for a sign. And the pitch is low for a ball. Colts scored first in this ball game, and they got a run in the bottom of the second. But in the top of the third, the Mets battled back and got 4 big ones. Colts got 1 in the bottom of the third inning. 1 in the sixth and 1 in the seventh. There's a swing and a ground ball to the right side. Could be trouble for Neil Charges. Tosses over in time for the out. That retires the side as Kirk Farrell. Grounds out second to first and in the bottom of the seventh. The Colt 45's got 1 run on 1 hit. 1 error, 1 left, and at the end of 7 full innings of play, the score is the New York Mets 4 and the Houston Colt 45s 4. Well, the football season is coming along very soon now, and New York City's first major football game of the season will be the game between Army and Syracuse at the Polo Grounds on Saturday, September 29th. Tickets will go on sale Monday at all Met ticket outlets for the Army-Syracuse game to be played at the Polo Grounds on Saturday, September 29th. Now let's let's check scores of other games around the major leagues. In the National League, the Philadelphia Phillies defeated the Milwaukee Braves 6-4 as McLeish beat Henley. Roy Seaver's got his 20th home run of the season. Joe Torre also had a homer. The San Francisco Giants beat the Chicago Cubs 7-2 as Billy Pierce was the winner and Don Cardwell the loser. St. Louis Cardinals beat the Cincinnati Reds 5-4 tonight as Joey J was the loser and Larry Jackson the winner. And at the end of 5 innings of play now, it's the Los Angeles Dodgers 6 and the Pittsburgh Pirates nothing. Pete Rickard pitching for the Dodgers. McBean started for the Pirates. LeMahieu in the third and Joe Gibbon in the third. In the American League, the New York Yankees defeated the Boston Red Sox 6-1. Whitey Ford over Don Schwal. The Chicago White Sox beat Washington 6-3. Early win, getting the 299th career victory. Rudolph the loser. Minnesota 9, Detroit 2, as Pascal was the winner, his 18th win, and Mossy the loser. Cleveland 3, Kansas City 2, Latman the winner, Pfister the loser. Los Angeles Angels 2, Baltimore Orioles 1, Bo Belinsky the winner. He's 9-9. Now Chuck Estrada the loser. For the Colts 45, Billy Goodman stays in the ballgame at second base in place of Joey Amalfitano, for whom he hits. The New York Mets here in the top half of the 8th inning will send up Jim Hickman. He is nothing for 3 tonight.
Center fielder number 9, Jim Hickman.
Here's a special announcement for all New York Mets fans. Fan Appreciation Day will be held at the Polo Grounds on Sunday, September 23rd. This is the Mets' last home game, so listen to this station for further announcements and details next week. Pitch to Hickman, swung on. It's a foul ball coming back. And it is going into the stands and out of play. Third baseman Rob Escamani gave it a run, but it's out of play. Turk Farrell started, still in there for the Colt 45s, although Tiefenauer has been warming up about 3 separate times throughout the course of this ball game. Here's a pitch low. It's 1-1. Joe Christopher's on deck for the Mets, batting here in the top half of the 8th inning. This pitch is swung on. It's a high fly ball deep to left field. It is sending Al Spangler way back there. And this one is off the wall. Hickman moves on to second base and holds up there as Spangler was there, and so was Carl Warwick, but ball bounced against the wall and they played it right off of the wall in the air and on in, but Hickman is standing on second with a double as it hit above the head of Al Spangler out there on the wall in left center field, so scored as a double for Jim Hickman. And that will bring up Joe Christopher. Score tied here, 4-4. That was the 11th hit for the Mets off Dick Farrell in this ballgame. And again, knuckleballer Bob Tiefenauer is up and throwing in the bullpen for the Colt 45. Christopher's a right-hand batter. Farrell is into the stretch. Hickman leads off the bag at second. Here's the ball bunted. It's up into the air, but Farrell can't find the handle as it has a lot of English on it, and on at first is Christopher. No play made on him as Farrell finally slipped down trying to field it, and it scored as a base hit. And trying to bunt the ball, Christopher had it up into the air. Farrell came over to try to make a play, then tried to short hop it and could not control it. It had a lot of English on it. Skidded away from him, and he in turn skidded and tried to get back to make the play on it. So Christopher's on at first, and Hickman has moved to third on the play. Rod Keneal will be coming up now for the Mets with runners at first and third, nobody out, as the Mets make a bid to push one across here in the top half of the 8th inning with the score tied, 4-4. That was base hit number 12 for the Mets, off Dick Farrell. Billy Goodman has come into the mound now, and shortstop Bob Lillis has walked over. They're getting straightened out on how they're going to play it here with runners first and third. And now Rod Keneal is being called back. Choo Coleman comes out to the on-deck circle. Chris Canizero walks over to say a word to Coach Salihimas at first base. Keneal goes all the way back into the dugout. Choo-Choo Coleman swinging back and coming up to bat for Keneal.
Keneal, number 17, Ron Coleman.
The manager, Casey Stengel, has gone to his bench here in an effort to get a run across in the top half of the 8th inning. Pitch swung on and foul back and out of play. It's strike one. Felix Mantilla is loosening up down in the bullpen area of the New York Mets now. Strike one count to Clarence Choo-Choo Coleman. Into the stretch, and here's the pitch. Swung on, and again, a high foul ball back and out of play. 2-strike count to Choo-Choo. Merrill looks around the outfield. Wind blowing out toward left. Turkeys up and into the stretch. Runners lead first and third. The pitch, fastball outside. It's 1-2. Choo-Choo swinging that bat. Standing in and waiting. Now he steps out of the batter's box. Comes back in. Turk Farrell into the stretch. Pitch is swung on, and it's a fly ball going deep to right field, and Mejias this time makes the catch, tagged up and coming down the line to score is Jim Hickman. And the Mets are out in front here by a score of 5-4. Ball was hit on the button out into right field. Mejias skidded a couple of steps just as he got to the ball, but managed to control himself enough to make the catch. But it was deep enough to score Jim Hickman, and that was the idea. So scored as a sacrifice fly and a run batted in to Choo-Choo Coleman. Holding at first base is Joe Christopher, and Chris Canizero is coming up with one man out. Mets 5 and the Colt 45s 4. Canizero is 2 for 3. And sends a drive into right field. This is going to fall in for a base hit. Christopher turns at second, digging for third, and Mejias overruns the ball. Christopher slides into third, and the throw instead comes to the plate all the way. And on the throw-in, Canizero moves to second. Runners at second and third. Score that as an error on Mejias. Scored as an error on Mejias. A single and an error gives the Mets runners at second and third with one man out, and that is Chris Canizero's third base hit of this game. Roger Craig coming out of the dugout now and coming on up here for the Mets. Stephen R. still throwing in the bullpen. The Mets have 13 hits off Turk Farrell. That is the most that he has allowed in a game this season. Time called here as coach Cookie Lavagetta has called Roger Craig down to talk to him to see what they're going to do here. There's one man out. Jim Umbright is now throwing in the bullpen. Jim Umbright is up and throwing in the bullpen for the Colt 45s. Here's the pitch to Craig. Swung on and missed. Strike one. Colt 45s with the infield in here to try to cut off a run at the plate. Christopher's the base runner at third, and Canicero's the base runner at second. Roger Craig had a base hit in the third inning of this game. Derek Farrell working straight away. Lines and fires, pitch out. And it's 1-1. Nothing on. Colt 45s gambling on a pitch out that the Mets just might have a play on. Trying to squeeze a run home, perhaps. But it didn't turn out that way, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch is swung on. It's a high pop up over the plate. It's in foul territory. Not coming back, and coming back is catcher Hal Smith. He has a play, makes the catch, and runs it back to the area of home plate to prevent any advance. Two-away, Craig is fouled out to the catcher. Helio Chacon is coming up. Runners second and third, 2 men out. The Mets 5 and the Colts 4. Chacon struck out, walked, singled, and singled. 2 for 3 and a walk in this game. Farrell again working straight away. In there for a call, strike 1. We're in the top half of the 8th inning. Again the pitch. Check swing, ground ball to first base. Taken there by Dave Roberts. Makes the play unassisted to retire the side. Helio checked the swing, but has got it out up to first base unassisted. In the top of the 8th, the Mets got 1 run on 3 hits. There was 1 error and 2 men left. So at the end of 7.5 innings of play, the score is the New York Mets 5 and the Houston Colt 45s 4. Well, you know, everybody's got favorites. Favorite food, favorite sports, favorite girls. Before the baseball season began, everybody had his favorite pick to win the pennant. And now all over New York, people are talking about their favorite candidate for Miss Rheingold 1963. Who will next year's Miss Rheingold be? Well, that's up to you. Your votes will decide the winners. So next time you're ordering Rheingold Extra Dry at any one of the 45,000 stores and taverns that sell New York's favorite beer, drop in a vote or 2 for your favorite candidate at the familiar Rheingold ballot box. No matter who your favorite is, Prue, Chris, Loretta, Beverly, Eileen, or Carol, enjoy a glass of Rheingold Extra Dry. The one beer that year after year has been the chosen favorite of New Yorkers. Have a sip of Rheingold's extra clean, bright taste. You'll join the millions who say, my beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Now for the New York Mets, Felix Mantilla is in to play second base. Leading off for the Colt 45s, top of the batting order, shortstop Bob Lillis. Slide to center, double single, and grounded out second to first. Al Barlick, the umpire behind the plate, getting his own lineup card straightened out at this moment. Mantilla will bat 7th in the batting order of the New York Mets. Roger Craig with the pitch, a breaking ball in there for a call, strike 1 to Bob Lillis. Opening up the bottom half of the 8th inning. Again the pitch, swung on and lined out in the left center field, in there for a base hit. Jim Hickman scoops it up, relays it in, turning and holding at first is Lillis with his 3rd base hit of the night. He represents potential tying run with nobody out. Al Spangler's coming up. Side to right, struck out, walked, and was on Camille Zera. Camille had successive errors in the bottom half of the 6th inning. One on Spangler and one on Mejia. Over for a brief word. 1-4 if you're scoring on the sacrifice. And now Roman Mejias is coming up as Canizero has gone out to the mound. And for the New York Mets, Larry Foss is throwing in the bullpen. Larry Foss, recently acquired from the Pirate organization. He had been at Asheville. Is warming up in the bullpen. Foss is a right-hander. Here's Roman Mejias in now and waiting. One man out. Rookie Dave Roberts is on deck now for the Colt 45s. Craig checks and deals. Pitch is swung on and missed. 1-1 to Mejias. Colt 45 is being run by coaches Lum Harris and Cott Deal in the absence of manager Harry Kraft, who is bedded with the virus. Last year, when Paul Richards left the Baltimore Orioles before the end of the season, Lum Harris took over there as temporary manager. Now, the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and full foul down past Harris. The coaches box at third. 1-2 to Mejias. Takes a moment, looks around the outfield. Wind blowing out toward left still, whipping the flag. Roger looks in for a sign. Has one now. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's in there for a call. Strike three. Got him looking. And for Roger Craig, his fourth strikeout of this ball game. A big one. With two men out and a runner at second, Dave Robbins is coming up. Robbins came in place of Norm Larker early in the ball game. He has himself been up 3 times without a hit. He came up to hit for Larker in the bottom half of the third inning.
24, Dave Robbins.
Norm Larker fouled the ball off his foot and sustained the bruise. That in the first inning. All right, Roger Craig. Into the set position. Here's the pitch to the left-hand batter in there for a call. Strike one. That's 5. The Colt 45's 4. Leads at second base. Here's a pitch. Missing outside for ball. It's 1-1. Larry Foss still working in the bullpen for the Mets. Pirates had him in spring training with the big club, and this season he has been at Asheville in the Sally League. Record of 10-5. Pitch. Missing low on the way, and it's 2 balls for 1 strike to Dave Roberts. Roberts got his first major league hit here night before last, a double that beat the Pittsburgh Pirates. Waits for the 2-1 pitch. It's on the way. Swung on and belted into right field for a base hit. Charged by Christopher. Rodney Curtis Rivers coming home. There'll be no play on him. As he comes across, puts the car around him. It's 5-5-5. Holding at first base is Dave Roberts with a single to right and a run batted in. Carl Warwick, as again the Colt 45s have battled back. Warwick is a right-hand batter. There's a swing and a ground ball taken at third base by Charlie Neal. He plays on to Thornberry at first in time. The outset retired to side. So in the bottom half of the eighth, the Colt 45s are out with 1 run on 2 hits. No errors and 1 left. So at the end of 8 full innings of play, the score is the New York Mets 5 and the Houston Colt 45s 5. On Monday night, that'll be September 10th, the New York Mets will be in town at the Polo Grounds to take on the Milwaukee Braves. Will be led in by Warren Spahn, Lou Burdette, Joe Adcock, Eddie Matthews, and of course, Henry Aaron, one of the Major League's outstanding performers. The Colt 45s will be in for their, the Milwaukee Braves will be in for their last appearance of this season. And before the ball game on Monday night, there will be field events, including relay throwing from the outfield for speed, fungo hitting for accuracy, catchers throwing into a barrel at second base, and a wheelbarrow contest between the coaches. A blindfolded wheelbarrow contest to see which coach is blindfolded can find home plate. That's on Monday night. Say, do you know why Rheingold tastes so good? Well, Dry tells you why. It tells you that Rheingold is brewed the long, slow, costly way for a flavor that's brisk and bright and clean, clear through. But why not find that out for yourself? Enjoy a cold glass of Rheingold right now. We'll be going now to the top half of the 9th inning, and the New York Mets will send up Charlie Neal. Charlie is 3 for 4 tonight. Against the Houston Colt 45s this season, Charlie Neal is batting .429, 15 for 35.
Third baseman, number 4, Charlie Neal.
Here's Farrell's pitch. It's swung on and fouled back onto the screen for strike 1. The Colt 45s tied it in the bottom of the 7th. The Mets went ahead in the top of the 8th. Colt 45s have tied it again in the bottom of the 8th, so the Mets are trying to see what they can do in the top of the 9th. That pitch misses low. It's 1-1. Charlie Neal had a bases-loaded single to drive in 2 runs in the top half of the 3rd inning. Turk Farrell looking in for his side from catcher Hal Smith. The pitch swung on and has a looping fly ball into right. Roman Mejias moves in underneath. He's waiting, and he makes the catch for the out. One away for the Mets in the top half of the 9th, and that will bring up Rick Hersher coming up for his first time in the game. Gene Woodling started in left field tonight for the Mets. There's a pitch low and away for ball 1. Frank Thomas has not played in the ball game tonight. Makes his off-season home in Dallas, Texas. There is no more certain way to become unpopular in Houston than to let it be known that you live in Dallas. Here's a pitch in there for a called strike. It's 2-1. Thornberry's on deck for the Mets. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. Farrell has struck out 9 in this ball game. His season's high is 12 strikeouts. blazing fastball. He's always been pretty well up on the strikeout list. Here's 2-2 pitch. Swung on and has a fly ball to right. Roman Mejias will have a long run. He's coming on and he has it lined up now. Underneath and makes the catch. So Neal and Hersher have flied out to Mejias 2 away, and Marv Thornberry coming up. He had a bases-loaded single in the third to drive in 2 runs. Otherwise, he gets struck out, popped out, and struck out. There's a swing and a foul ball backing into the stands out of play. Strike 1 is the count to Marv Thornberry. With Jim Hickman on deck for the Mets. Here's a swing and a 1-hopper to Billy Goodman at second. He plays on over to Dave Roberts at first in time. Well, got the Mets out in order in the top of the ninth with no runs on no hits, no errors, and none left. At the end of 8 1/2 innings of play, the score is New York Mets 5 and the Houston Colt-45s 5.
Say, fans, you ever feel you were having a curve thrown at you by your cigarette? That brand you were smoking that tasted okay when you first smoked it, has it ever pulled a change up and begun to taste hot and dry? When that happens, it's time you made a change. A real change. It's time you came up to cool. Tell you something, a lot of smokers have found out. Your cigarette's not tasting cool enough till you come up to cool. You know why? It's because Cool's menthol magic actually brightens taste. It's refreshing all day through. You'll feel extra coolness in your throat all day long. Extra coolness no other cigarette can give you. Take it from me, I know, fans, now's the time to come all the way up to cool. Right now, signal the man with the cigarette tray. Get Cool Filter Kings or Cool without filter. Feel that extra coolness in your throat. Before we go to the bottom of the ninth, in order to allow our stations to identify themselves, we pause now for station identification.
This is WGY 810 on your radio dial, Schenectady, your New York Mets station.
This is Lindsey Nelson with Ralph Chandler and Bob Murphy. In Houston, Texas, Bob Astromonti's up for the Colt 45s. Craig's pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 1. In Los Angeles, with the Pirates batting in the top of the 7th, it's the Dodgers 6 and the Pirates nothing. Pete Rickard still going for the Dodgers. Tom Butters is now going for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Here's the pitch low and away for ball 1. It's 1-1. Swing and a fly ball to left. Rick Hersher and Jim Hickman are there, and Hickman calls and makes the catch in left center. Astromonti has flied out to Hickman 3 times. 7 putouts for Jim Hickman tonight. 1 away, nobody on for the Colt 45s. That brings up Hal Smith.
45 catcher.
Smith is nothing for 3 and a walk tonight. The swing and a foul ball coming back. Canizero gives it a run, but this one's in the stands. Milt Renew has been recalled by Colt 45s. He'll be here tomorrow, and he'll be eligible to play Jim Campbell, injured a finger, this afternoon. There's a foul tip. Caught him on the hand. And he's going to be out a couple of weeks, so permission was received from President Warren Giles of the National League for Renew to be brought up. Again, Roger Craig with the pitch. Low and away. Short hop by Canizero. It's 1-1. New York Mets 5 and the Houston Colt 45s 5. Bottom half of the 9th inning. The pitch low. It's 2-1. Missing outside. It's 3-1. Jim Umbright is up and throwing again in the bullpen for the Colts. That pitch is low and away, and he walked him. So Hal Smith has drawn a walk. That is the fifth walk given up by Roger Craig. Gives the Colt 45s a base runner here in the bottom of the ninth with one man out. And Billy Goodman's coming up. Goodman's been up one time. Singled and moved on to second on an error by Jim Hickman in center field. On the ground ball. Pitch is low. It's ball one. Peering in for a sign. Here's the pitch to the left-hand batter. Swung on and fouled off. That'll bring Hal Smith back on the swing. He was moving. In the afternoon game, the Colt 45s came to the bottom half of the ninth inning, trailing by one run, and they pulled it out with 2 runs in the bottom of the ninth, winning 4-3. Here, they're all even, 5-5 in the bottom of the ninth. The Mets, of course, now trying to take the game into extra innings. Craig steps off the rubber as Stoneberry moves over to the bag. Now pitch to the plate, swung on, and has a fly ball to the left center field. Again, Hickman is called, and he makes the catch. Advance by Hal Smith, who returns to the bag at first. 8 putouts for Jim Hickman in center field. And Turk Farrell is due up, but Johnny Temple's going to bat for him here in the bottom half of the ninth inning. Temple batting for Turk Farrell. Turk Farrell is out of the ball game, having gone 9 innings in which he gave up 5 runs on 13 hits. He struck out 9 and he walked 2. Pitch to Temple is in there for a called strike. 2 men out, the runner at first base. Score tied, 5-5. Checks. Here's the pitch swung on, and it's popped up off the line at third and given a run by Charlie Neal, but it's in the stands and out of play. The 8 putouts by Jim Hickman in center field tonight has tied the Major League record that was set by Mike Donlin of the New York Giants on October 13th, 1905, and by Ed Roush of the Cincinnati Reds on October 1st, 1919. So Jim Hickman has tied that Major League record here tonight with 8 putouts in center field. Pitch is low for a ball. 1-2. Temple in and waiting. Here's the 1-2 pitch. In there for a called strike 3. A breaking ball, and he took it. So for Roger Craig, that is his 5th strikeout. Gets him out of the inning, and we'll be going into extra innings here. In the bottom half of the ninth, the Colt 45's got no runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 left. And so at the end of 9 full innings of play, the score is the New York Mets 5 and the Houston Colt 45s 5.
Francisco Giants won their ball game this afternoon. The Cincinnati Reds have lost their game tonight. The Los Angeles Dodgers are leading in their ball game tonight as the National League pennant race is really tightened up here as we're in the last month of play. The Cincinnati Reds will be at the Polo Grounds on Friday night, September 14th, Saturday afternoon, September 15th, Sunday afternoon, September 16th. It'll be the final appearance of the Cincinnati Reds. They are the defending National League champions, making their final trip into the Polo Grounds. So we hope you'll be on hand. We're going to be going here to the top half of the 10th inning. And the New York Mets are going to be sending up Jim Hickman, Joe Christopher, and Felix Mantilla. Final game of this series will be played tomorrow afternoon, and we'll be on the air at 5:55 p.m. New York time. Now, that's later than usual. Starting time is 4 p.m. Here in Houston, that's 6 p.m. in New York. Jim Umbright has come on now to pitch for the Houston Colt-45s. Right-hander Jim Umbright, one time the property of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Coming on in relief here. As Farrell pitched 9 innings, gave up 5 runs on 13 hits, struck out 9 and walked 2. Here's Jim Hickman. He had a double last time up off the left field wall. Umbright's pitch is in there for a called strike. Again, the big right-hander works. The pitch is swung on. It's a ground ball. Fielded deep at third by Astromonte to throw over to first. In time, he got him. Beautiful fielding play by Astromonte, who one-handed it. And it made the complete pivot all the way around to make the throw on to Dave Roberts at first in time to get Jim Hickman. One away for the Mets in the top half of the 10th. That's going to bring up Joe Christopher. Jim Umbright last year was with the St. Louis Cardinals and with Charleston in the International League. No record with the Cardinals. He won 10 and lost 2 at Charleston last year. Here's a swing and a comebacker to Umbright. Throws on over to first to Roberts in time. 2 away, nobody on. And bring up Felix Mantilla for the Mets. Umbright attended the University of Georgia. He graduated with a BS degree. Started as an infielder. Mantilla, right-hand batter. Now for his first time in the ball game. Takes a call, strike 1. The Mets 5 and the Houston Colt-45s 5. It's ball 1, 1-1. The games are not likely to be much more closely contested than have been those between the New York Mets and the Colt-45s this season. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Swung out and missed. He took a ripple at that one. Canizaro is on deck for the Mets. Chris has 3 base hits tonight. But Umbright is pitching with 2 men out and nobody on. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Mantilla. Low and away. It's 2-2. The Mets got 4 runs in the top half of the 3rd inning on 4 hits. Charlie Neal had a bases loaded 2-run single. Morris Thornberry had a bases loaded 2-run single to account for the 4 runs. Mets got another in the top half of the 8th inning. Hickman double. Christopher single. Here's a swing and a ground ball to short taken by Lillis. He plays on to Robertson. Time for the out. So Jim Umbright sets the sides out
fans, any time is a good time to enjoy the brisk, bright flavor of Rheingold, but it goes especially well with these wonderful autumn days that are coming up. Yes, sir, wonderful days call for the wonderful taste of Rheingold Extra Dry. A taste that's brisk and bright and is clean, clear through. Rheingold is beer as beer should taste, and dry tells you why. It tells you that Rheingold is brewed the long, slow, costly way. Brewed extra dry to be extra refreshing. So you better stock up now and have plenty of cool, refreshing Rheingold Extra Dry on hand. Enjoy those wonderful days with the wonderful beer, Rheingold Extra Dry. We're going now to the bottom half of the 10th inning. Roger Craig still on the mound for the New York Mets. He started, he's come all the way. The Colts will be sending up Bob Lillis, shortstop, who has 3 hits tonight. Driven in 1 run and scored 1 himself. Lillis, one time the property of the Dodgers. Bunts the ball down to first base line. Thornberry will have to field it. Can Craig get there ahead of the runner? He cannot. He's safe. A perfect bunt by Bob Lillis. Thornberry had to play it, and then Lillis beat Roger Craig to the bag. So it's a base hit for Lillis, his 4th of the night. Coming here in the bottom half of the 10th inning, he has bunted his way on. Lillis now 7 base hits in his last 11 times up. Al Spangler coming up now for the Colt 45s. The New York Mets, of course, have to protect against the likelihood of the sacrifice here, with Lillis representing potential winning run on at first base for the Colt 45s in the bottom half of the 10th inning.
Left fielder, number 21, Al Spangler.
Spangler sacrificed in the bottom half of the 8th. When Lillis got on to open up the 8th, they finally got him around to tie the game at that point. Here's a throw over. Craig again into the stretch. The pitch is a pitch out, and it's ball 1. Spangler has started squaring around for the sacrifice. Charlie Neal way in on the edge of the grass at third. Thornberry charging on the pitch at first base. It's bunted down to first base line. Thornberry takes it. He'll go to first where Mancia covers. He's out. The sacrifice is executed, moving Lillis to second base. Goes 3-4, good scoring, and Roman Mejia coming up. Strikeout in the bottom half of the 8th inning. In a situation similar to this, except now we're in the bottom half of the 10th inning with the score tied 5-5. Roger Craig into the stretch, and the pitch blowing away for ball 1. Behind the plate all the way tonight. Pitch is swung on. It's a ground ball to third. Charlie Neal takes it, looks the runner, throws to first. The runner's advancing now to third. Thornberry throw back, not in time. Chacon takes the throw. As Bob Lillis throws on from second to third. 2 men out. Ground ball to Neal. Fielded cleanly. He looked at Lillis, held him there momentarily, fired on to first, but the minute he did, Lillis headed for third. Thornberry's throw back across the mound to Chacon, covering the bag, was not in time. Rookie
lucky Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts is coming up now. He singled a drive and a run in the bottom half of the 8th inning. He has taken a moment to talk to Coach Lum Harris. Roberts standing just outside the batter's box. He's a left-hand batter. In Los Angeles, the Dodgers are batting in the bottom half of the 8th, leading the Pirates by a score of 6-1.
24, Dave Roberts.
Has a pitch in there for a called strike. Roberts is 1 for 4 tonight. Lillis leads off the bag at third. Roger Craig works for the windup. And the pitch is low for ball 1. It's 1-1. Mets 5 and the Colts 45s 5 in the bottom half of the 10th inning. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's in there for a call, strike 2. Roberts now steps back out of the batter's box, gets a handful of dirt, and comes back in. To get a sign, and as he does, Roberts backs out of the batter's box. Comes back in. Now Craig takes a moment, puts the palm of his hand right down on the dirt, wipes his fingertips. Now he's up to work. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's inside. It's 2-2. With 2 men out and a runner at third in the bottom of the 10th. Dave Roberts is waiting. Swings at that, and here's the pitch. It's outside, and it's a full count now to Roberts, with Carl Warwick on deck for the Colt 45. Looks in to get his sign. Shakes off the sign. Now again, Roberts is backed out of the batter's box. Canizero started out toward the mound, takes a couple of steps, stops now as Craig waves him back. Dave Roberts back in. He's waiting for a payoff pitch. Craig shakes off one side. Another. He's running him all the way around. Now, the 3-2 pitch. Low, it gets by Canizero, and coming home is Lillis with the run that ends the ball game. The ball game is over as the Colt 45s have won it. That pitch hit in the dirt. Score it as a wild pitch. It hit in the dirt. A wild pitch that walked batter Dave Roberts, but more importantly, it allowed Bob Lillis to come home from third with the winning run, and the Colt 45s have won the ball game in the bottom half of the 10th inning. They won the afternoon game by getting 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th. They have won the night game on a wild pitch in the bottom half of the 10th inning, thrown by Roger Craig. And so, in the bottom half of the 10th inning, 2 were out when the winning run was scored as a walk was drawn by Dave Roberts. We'll be back in a moment with the final summary and totals. Right now, the final score of this game, the Houston Colt 45 6, the New York Mets 5 in 10 innings. We'll keep Keep in mind that the Mets will be home at the Polo Grounds on Monday night to take on the Milwaukee Braves. And they will be there on September 14th at night, September 15th in the afternoon, and September 16th in the afternoon against the Cincinnati Reds. Then Monday the 17th is off. These Houston Colt-45s will be on the 18th for a twilight doubleheader, the 19th for a twilight doubleheader, and the 20th for an afternoon game. And then comes the season-ending series at home for the Mets against the Chicago Cubs. Tickets, of course, now on sale for all of those games. Do you ever notice how some ball players are naturals? You know, some of the major leaguers, through determination and hard work, get to be pretty good athletes. But the really great stars, I mean the all-time greats, well, they were natural ball players from the day they were born. Same way with beer. Most beers taste pretty good, but the really great ones, they are natural. Like Rheingold Extra Dry. Even before it's brewed, Rheingold is naturally a great beer because Rheingold uses only the finest natural ingredients, the finest grain, the finest hops, and the purest water in Rheingold Extra Dry. And Rheingold is brewed long and slow, brewed naturally. Even the sparkle in Rheingold is natural. Yes, Rheingold's natural brewing takes extra time, and that costs extra money, but there are no shortcuts to an extra dry beer. When was the last time you enjoyed the delicious, brisk, and bright flavor of an extra dry beer? When was the last time you enjoyed a Rheingold? Well, here in Houston, the Colt 45s have scored a run on a wild pitch in the bottom half of the 10th inning to defeat the New York Mets by a score of 6-5. And to tell you something about the day's activity here is Ralph Kiner.
Well, Roger Craig outlasted the starting pitcher for the Colt 45s, Dick Farrell, as Farrell went 9 innings and gave up to Jim Umbright. But he couldn't outlast the Houston Colt team at all as they scored in the 10th inning to win the doubleheader, winning the first game by a score of 4-3 and the second game by a score of 6-5. Roger went 9 2/3 innings. That is the second time that he has gone in extra innings this season. In the 9 2/3 innings, he gave up 6 runs, allowed 12 base hits. He struck out 5 and walked 5. In the 10th inning, the first man up, Bob Willis, beat out a bunt for a base hit. Roger a little bit late covering from the pitcher's mound, and he was not able to make the play. Then Al Spangler laid down a perfect sacrifice bunt and moved Bob Willis over to second base. And when Roman Mejia grounded out to third, the break of the game came for the Houston Colt 45s, and Bob Willis very alertly went over to third base on the throw to first base. As he was on third base, Roger Craig worked to Dave Roberts, who had singled in the tying run in the 8th inning, the 5th one for the Colt 45. He got the count to 3-2 and gave up ball 4, which also turned out to be a wild pitch. And on the wild pitch, Willis scored from third base with the winning run of the ball game. For the Colt 45s, their 14th extra inning game, the 5th one they have won this year. They have lost 8 and tied 1. The Mets played their 16th extra inning game, and they lost their 12th while winning 4. It was also the 53rd one-run game played by the Mets. They have won 16 now and lost 37. In the series here at Houston, the Colt 45s have won 7 of the 8 games played here in Houston. 1 game remaining. That'll be tomorrow. Game time will be at 5:55 New York time. Scheduled to go in that game, Bob Bruce for the Colt 45s. He has a record of 9 wins and 8 losses against Craig Anderson, who has lost 16 in a row, and he has a record of 3-17. At the Polo Grounds, the Colt 45s have a record of 2 wins and 2 losses. They'll be coming in for 5 more games, playing in the Polo Grounds on the 18th, 19th, and 20th. The 18th will be a twilight doubleheader, the 19th a twilight doubleheader, and a single-day game on the 20th. On the season, the Colt 45s have won 9 of the 12 games played so far, and the Mets now on the road have lost their 58th game. They have won 17. They have won 18 while losing 51 at home, and their overall record now 35 wins and 109 losses. For the Colt 45s, they have won their 31st game of the year here in Colt Stadium. They have lost 45 here, and with their road record of 25 and 42, they have an overall record of 55 wins, making 56 wins and 87 losses. Colt Colts have now won 6 in a row. This is the highest they have ever won in their history, and they have won 11 of their last 14 games. The Mets have lost 6 in a row with their loss here in the second game of the split day-night doubleheader. That's the story on the first game. The second game, I should say. On the first game, the Colts won it 4-3 when they came from behind to score 2 runs in the ninth inning to give the loss to Craig Anderson, his 17th of the year. The winning pitcher in the first game was Russ Kemmer, his 4th win against 2 losses. Once again, the final score in the second game, the Colts 6, the Mets 5. The winning pitcher, Jim Umbright, he has now a record of 2 wins and no losses. The losing pitcher, Roger Craig, has record 7 wins and 23 losses. That's the story right here from Colts Stadium. Don't forget, a game tomorrow, the final game of the season here in Houston between the Mets and the Colts. Game time will be at 5:55 New York time, and the game will be both on television and on radio. This broadcast came to you through the courtesy of the Liebman Breweries, New York and New Jersey, and Brown & Williamson Tobacco Corporation. Right now, I'd like to remind you to enjoy fine cold Rheingold. Rheingold Extra Dry. Those 2 little words, extra dry, tell you why Rheingold is preferred by more New Yorkers than any other beer. Enjoy an ice cold glass of good Rheingold Extra Dry. Now, this is Ralph Kiner saying so long for Lindsey Nelson and Bob Murphy, our statistician Joe McDonald, our engineer Joe Kresnicka, our producer Joe Gallagher, and for Cool Cigarettes. You'll feel extra coolness in your throat when you come up to the menthol magic of Cool. Once again, the final score of the 2 games here from Houston. The first game won in the daytime by the Colt 45s 4-3. The second game won here tonight by the Colt 45s 6-5 in 10 innings. So long, everybody. This is the New York Mets Baseball Network.